But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king.
Welcome
of
to
rhyme.
Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Sven P, Curved Fart, Pablo de la Cruz, Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, Survive the Spin, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Tiers Morgan, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, J Mel's 24, Unimento, Iron 26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Troy Shuker, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links, as I say, to Patreon are below this video. But with that, I will hand across to whoever is in Google and Discord, so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
What's going on?
It's quite hot here again. It's a nice day.
I'm not talking about the day. I'm talking about the pictures. Did you get it sorted yet?
The pictures?
For the book.
If someone's feeding back. Is that you, Neil? Turn your speakers down. No, I only got a message from him about 1:30 in the morning, and he sent me about a dozen pictures. I think there's 22 altogether, and 12 of them weren't in the right DPI. So I've gone into, I can't remember the name of the software, something Adobe AI, and increased the resolution. So it just gives you that in a, horizontal versus vertical number of lines. Now, I could just calculate the DPI from that, but you just don't know what it's being condensed onto to know how many dots per inch are what. Nevertheless, I've sent him 5, so I've done 5, which is like my daily limit without spending money on it, which I don't want to do if I don't have to. And I've asked him, are these satisfactory? And I'm assuming the ones that you haven't sent back are okay. But we'll see what he says.
Cool. What's up, man? I'm glad to hear you're doing that well.
It's
My
good,
man.
it's good to know, yeah. It's riveting stuff. Also got a bunch of people in Discord. Alpha Murphy, Dank, Flat Earth Cafe, and Michael.
Alpha Murphy, ex-wife, if you can come off mood today.
Hey up, guys. I just joined, then walked away with the lawnmower, then I've had to stop it and come back to say hello. You all right, boys?
Hello, you sound a lot better today. You were all crackly last time.
It just sounds like he was in a submarine today.
I just heard the end of what you were saying about the images, so I take it you may have got it correct.
I don't know. He asks me for it in 300 DPI, which is like a print resolution. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand what that means. My brother used to be a printer and have a printing press, so I get what he means, but it's relative to how big it is and what the resolution is. So I've plumbed what he sent me back into a program that's upscaling, or one of its features is upscaling. I've upscaled them and then sent 5 back and gone, is this okay? And are the ones that you haven't sent back already in the correct DPI, as he's phrasing it that way? But I don't know. We'll find out.
the way you can check, Nathan, once you've done it and downloaded the images to your machine, right-click properties, and it should say within the data what the DPI is. I sent you a link a little while ago in Master B for an online website that does it. But I remember trying it myself, and it didn't come out to exactly 300 DPI. It was like putting it out at 299. No idea why.
Okay. I mean, I'll have a look at that one as well. I'll have a scroll through. Can you remember when you sent it?
It's just underneath a picture of your ebook cover.
Oh, okay. So it's a while back. Okay.
It's not too far ago.
Just below the ebook cover, or... Okay, fine. This will be a mess around, I just know it. I don't know, really... I'm not a Photoshop user, really. Say that, my folks used to sell it when they were running a computer shop, and I do know how to use it. My daughter's got it on her computer, and she loves it, but I'm just not interested. The way I want to produce thumbnails is quickly, right? So I really like things like Copilot for that. Perfect. You just give it a very short prompt about what you roughly want based on what you've talked about on the show, and it spits out something you can put text over the top of. Perfect. Now, half the time, I don't care if it's AI slop. I just need something unique for that show. So you go, yeah, that's kind of what I want. You know, it doesn't really matter. As long as it's a unique picture for the thumbnail, I'm happy. Because you've got to crap them out all day long. And they used to take for ages, because I'd be doing layers and stuff, like layering up various images. You know, it takes forever. But anyway, hopefully I can resolve it quickly, and he gets back to me today and says, yeah, those are all fine. If you can just do the other 7, I think there is left. I've sent him 5 of 12. But worst case scenario is he gets back to me and goes, no, none of them were in the right resolution, and neither are the ones that you've sent back. In which case this will go on for a week or 2.
It takes a little bit of a fuss for the ebook. I don't think anyone would notice the difference in DPI. I thought it would really make a difference for print.
Maybe they do. That's what he wants. I don't care. As long as it gets to him in whatever format he wants it in, then fine. From memory, he was also talking about it taking into consideration the future publications, i.e. a paperback or / hardback. So they will be obviously printed. So that's presumably why he's doing it in that way, so that there's no adjustments needed when it does eventually become a printed copy. Which makes sense, right? You don't want to have to do it twice. Still a little bit disappointing. I was hoping you'd just get back and go, yeah, that's all good. Let's go. Clearly not. On the other hand, it is par for the course, right? On the other side, at least I've got all of this done, right? It's not like formatting issues, typesetting, and positioning images and getting the right scale and DPI or anything like actually accumulating the material in the first place, because that's literally taken years. So putting it on the page in a way that looks nice, getting the DPI correct, it's like, this is just polishing an already very well polished stone, as far as I'm concerned. And you know, that extra gleam does make a difference. Some people are fussy about those things. And there are certain standards that you've got to actually have in place anyway, just to have it in print. Yeah, I'm not that fussed. It's one of those. No worries. Plus, it's kind of is what it is when it comes out as well. While you can make alterations and you can do second releases and alter things and even redraft the whole book and just call it a second edition. But you don't want to. You kind of want the first thing that comes out to be, 99.9% what it needs to be. And if there's any adjustments to be made, they're very subtle, as opposed to fundamentally altering anything or having to radically change the pictures or whatever. Or, the originals come out and they're all looking really scruffy because they're sized badly or whatever. You just want it to look good from the off. You know what I mean? Once it comes out, you want people to get it and go, yeah, this is obviously a refined product.
Absolutely. And then your second edition could be Earth is still measured flat.
That'll be a new book.
Yeah. No, I agree. When it comes out, it comes out. But if we're still sitting here in 6 months going back and forth, I think we have a problem, Houston.
Maybe. I think there's been plenty of problems. It's just the way it goes.
Exactly. No, it's gotta be any day now. Any day now.
Yeah, I hope so. It'll come when it comes. People have been sending me PayPals and Ko-Fis, and few new patrons goes a huge way. Hopefully a few more people will do the same, and that'll keep me going for another couple of weeks in the interim.
Hey, good morning. Sorry,
Morning.
this is Flat Earth Cafe. I was just going to say that the more distance you have between your book anyway and that other book, I think is better.
Yeah, there's that as well. You don't want people having my drama of stolen drafts in their memory when it comes out. You just want it to be a publication that I'm putting out and buy it because it's good and nothing else.
Until I read about it in what chapter is it?
Chapter 21 or something. The betrayal. It's not just about that. The betrayal chapter's about lots of different things that have gone on. It's not just that specific thing. Like I talk about, getting screwed over by YouTube in that chapter. Getting screwed over by general random YouTuber that doesn't like what I do and decides the best course of action is to copyright strike me and just justify it afterwards, however best they see fit. That's fairly common themes that are, prevalent throughout my YouTube career.
Oh, you're saying copyright strike you, and then oh, by the way, you should look into something like this. Then they want to be your friend.
Yeah, you've got it.
Hello.
Hello.
Did you find? Are you talking about that picture again?
Not the one with the cows on. The covers got done, although it never actually reached 300 DPI. It just reached a satisfactory standard for the ebook, so that might cause a problem. But I've found a piece of software that upscales and done 5 free upscales and sent them back to him and said, will this suffice? So I'll just wait for his response. Hopefully, it won't be too long before he says no or yes. And if he says no, I'll just reach out to you guys again and go, look, I've gone through this dance once with the cover. I don't know what I'm doing. I managed to bodge it together eventually. And I'm trying to do the same again with these images for inside the book rather than the cover. But hopefully it'll be a less painful process this time. It won't be 10 back and forths with, no, it's still not the right resolution.
Just send me the highest resolution that you've got of each image if you get a problem.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I'll bear that in mind. If he comes back to me and says, no, those are fine, then I can just carry on with the next 7. But it might be a case of there's 20, I can't remember if it's 21, 22, 23, something like that, images altogether. It might be that he gets back and goes, no, none of them are in the right resolution. I couldn't use any of them. You need to get all of them scaled to 300 DPI. But hopefully not. It's just the 12 he sent back. So half of them are wrong, which kind of makes sense, right? I've
Where did you
randomly
get the
produced
images
them.
from?
Say again?
Where do the images originate from?
They're various different. Some of them I've made myself and layered them up myself. Some of them have come from AI completely. Some of them are a mixture of layers from me and AI. Some of them are photographs. Some of them are layered photographs. Some of them are cartoons. There's a variety of lots of different stuff. So the original source of each of them is now, in some instances, very difficult to track down. You know, I'm sure I could with enough time. But even then, the original isn't the original, because then I've taken it into a different piece of software to make it black and white, because I want it to look cool on a book. In a book, you know, I don't want it to come out in monochrome. So if the cheapest processing is applied, because that's the cheapest way to buy it, then it'll just look good, because it's already been vetted in black and white, if you know what I mean, rather than it being a conversion at the printing process, because someone's not paying for a colour print.
Yeah. Okay, well, just send me, if there's a problem, just send them over and see what we can do.
Wow, thank you very much. Hopefully not, but if I do, I really will be appreciating it, and I'll be going, you know, you offered something. Now you can have me on your case. Has it done yet? Thanks. Much obliged.
No worries. So how was the football for you yesterday, Neil? Oh, it's gone quiet. Where's he gone?
He's obviously vanished. I could pretend I watched. Go ahead, Neil.
What happened? I didn't hear that.
Craig just asked how the football went.
Oh, last night I didn't get into that freaking game. I couldn't get into Mexico against freaking Korea.
Didn't know about the Korea game. I watched the Mexican game. That was dire. It was awful. And yeah, one red card turned into 3.
Was there 2 games on? Was there another one on after that?
Yeah, the early game was Mexico, South Africa. And
That's okay. That's the one I couldn't get into. And there was another game with Korea and somebody else, right? Chechnya or something?
yeah, well, it was on at 2:30 this morning, 3:00 in the morning. I ain't gonna get up to watch that.
Yeah, I didn't
What
watch
you need
it.
is
America starts today.
Back in the day, we used to have football comics. You know what I mean? Like a printed thing about football with stickers in it and such like. And when the World Cup used to come out, it'd have a poster of wherever the hosting country was in the background, and it would just show all the different groups. And then underneath it, it would have a table, so you could handwrite on the poster who was where, so you could progress through the groups and see who was doing what. And by the end, obviously,
we still do them.
yeah, I don't doubt it.
They give them away, the album free, so that you will go and buy some stickers.
Right.
Okay, who's the UK playing first?
Right, the UK.
England.
There is no UK football team.
It's the
England.
United Kingdom football team. They're called England. Who are they playing?
Sorry, UK. How many countries are in the United Kingdom?
13.
Scotland, who are playing. England, who are playing. Wales.
Okay, so who is England playing first?
I don't have a clue, actually. I'll have a look.
Right, there's 2 islands. One's called Great Britain, one's called Ireland. The United Kingdom is essentially Great Britain and Northern Ireland combined. That's what the United Kingdom is. The kingdom being our bit of Ireland that's ours and no one else can take it away from us to get lost.
So you're saying the other, okay, I got what you're saying. So they're all different teams. Like Scotland has their own team and Ireland has their own. Are they part of the United Kingdom, Ireland?
Yes.
Northern Ireland, please.
Northern Ireland, one little chunk of it. Right, let's not get into those troubles. That's a different story.
I was watching Spring Watch, and they're in Northern Ireland at the moment. Old, what's her name? Michaela Strachan. And she said, right, we're going to leave Northern Ireland now and go back to the UK. And I thought, what are you talking about? You're in the UK, woman.
Please, you guys, don't what?
She means back.
You know what?
back to the island of Great Britain would be the accurate terminology. She's in the UK anyway, so she can't leave the UK if she's going to Great Britain, but she's just leaving Ireland. And in this specific
Where is
instance,
the lady from?
she's from England, Michaela Strachan. Is she Welsh?
But
Michaela
she
Strachan?
shouldn't make that mistake then.
Correct. But I'm pedantic.
Where
Realistically,
is Brian at when you need him?
the UK is just a device for causing exactly these sorts of problems, right? Because it's two separate islands, one called Ireland and one called Great Britain. They're separate, but because we own a little tiny piece of Ireland, Northern Ireland specifically, that gets separated into a separate subcategory called the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That's what it says on a UK passport. The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Does that include Guernsey, Jersey, and Isle of Man then?
Yes.
Just checking. And for your information, Neil, Croatia on Wednesday.
I don't know, actually, does it include the Isle of Man? I know it's a tax haven, but it's still part of the United Kingdom, isn't it? I'd have to check that, actually. I say yes immediately off the top of my head, but I could be wrong about that now I think about it.
So Scotland is part of it too?
Yeah, obviously. Scotland's part of the massive island on the right as you look at the map, called Great Britain. Scotland's the top bit.
But then what the hell did I watch? A movie called Braveheart.
Because that's different countries fighting each other. England versus Scotland, like in the football.
Scotland are playing on Sunday against Haiti.
No, what I'm saying is, how are they part of the United Kingdom if they won their freedom? That's what the movie said at the end.
Well, they didn't. That's just absurd. We just let them think that they won their freedom by pretending that
That's
they were
like
separate.
Independence Day. It's not real.
Yeah, it's like, we got this thing, the Treaty of Paris, that you can't read the first 33 pages of, that says that we're free.
Exactly. What's freedom? I mean, in the most in literal terms, what is freedom?
It's an unattainable thing because there's always somebody who doesn't want you to have it.
In this context, it would be not living under the charter of a king.
No, when Abraham Lincoln, the story goes, bought a slave girl and set her free, she asked, "What's freedom?" He said, "That means you could go wherever you want, you could do whatever you want, you can say whatever you want. You don't have to take orders from anybody."
What I mean is, it's a convention, right? It's a convention. It can mean a lot of different things, but we arbitrarily place specific details on it. So you've just said the freedom from a king, in this instance, to boil it down to the brass tacks of that particular type of freedom. You're like, okay, so if you're not under any arbitration from a king, but you're in jail because the state's put you in jail, does that mean that you're free? Well, no. Well, that's a different convention under a different standard. But it's just a convention, right? It's arbitrary. What we say freedom is purely arbitrary. Like love, it's a concept. Yeah, the concept of freedom can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but it's charged, very heavily charged. So you can shout it out at the beginning of a war where you're following another man to your death, and you can shout at the beginning, "For freedom!" For freedom, you can go and die.
You can shout freedom, but if you try to run, they will shoot you in the back for being
Freedom, and by the way, should you try and desert, you will be hung.
If there's one rule of any sort, there's no freedom.
I like in The Matrix when she says, no one can tell you're in love, you just know it balls to bones. Well, no one can really truly say that they're free. You just know that you're free. When you look at that star-spangled banner, you put your heart on your chest. You know you're free.
We're not free of dumb.
To the flag.
Most of what we deal with here, right, flat earth debate is built around concepts and conventions that people have reified into existence. mathematical constructs that have been derived into people's mind's eye, presenting them with a world that they think they're living on/in. They don't know the in bit as much as the on bit, but that doesn't change the fact that they've reified a mathematical construct, a convention, arbitrarily created by men. And now a whole world thinks that they are actually living on a sphere by derivation of a mathematical concept. But these are, by the same standard, just conventions. You can believe you're living on a ball in the same way you can believe you're free. And does that mean you're not? Well, in the mind's eye of anybody that currently talks to us, right, I would say that in many instances, more of the people that we've dealt with over the last 10 years know for sure and without a doubt that they're on a ball than the current raft of hippie, pot-smoking flat earthers know for sure and without a doubt that the earth is flat. Now, we sit outside of that category because both of those are beliefs. We understand how earth is measured. That's separate to a debate about whether or not you believe you're on a ball with a really strong belief versus believe that you're on/in a ball created 500 years ago with flat earth mathematics and flat earth measurements. But, those two, like I say, I would say that most of the time, the reason we face such strong opposition is because there's a stronger faith in the ball.
Is that similar to people believe they're free or they have freedom?
Same thing.
Yeah. Same thing. But actually, truly, nobody is free.
Yeah, but to not be free is the same by reverse, by contrapositive. It's just another convention. To not be free is no more or less a convention. Well, you're entrapped. Well, hold on, are you in prison? Well, no, but my standard of the antithesis of freedom is different to yours because we're going to now arbitrarily go through the Socratic method to decide what not being free means. How is it any different?
Yeah, that's why you require definitions, and that's why people's definitions around the world differ so much for the same word sometimes.
Precisely, that's what I said. It's then becomes a Socratic discussion. What freedom is to one man just becomes Socratic. If we agree definitionally on what these concepts mean to you or I, and if they meet or breach a written down definition, come up with by some third party. Try that once more.
What does sphere mean to you, Nathan?
Well, that's different. I mean, a mathematical convention it may be, but it's very simple to agree upon what a sphere is, right? You can detail explicitly what sphericity and a sphere is. What it is to be spherical can easily be defined. So that doesn't sit into the same category as freedom or love or living on a ball by reification. But a sphere itself is easy to define, I would say. You trying to catch me out or something?
I just keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, there are certain mathematical axiomatic principles that we utilize. Most of them are beautifully summarized by people like Euclid, right? And I don't have any issue with any of the mathematical axioms, geometric or otherwise. Shapes are what they are. If you're going to describe a pentagon, it's got 5 sides. If you're going to describe a circle, you're going to describe it with one side, and no flat surfaces would be applicable to a spherical surface, things like that. Those principles can be agreed upon. But for the majority of the Western world, they've worked outside of a mathematical convention. So in the pre-show, we were discussing the mathematical convention of being on a ball. Well, it works outside of the mathematics of the derivation of flat Earth prerequisite surface level measurements that create a ball for you to put in orbital motion with you at the centre of the ball, moving around the sun, to explain epicycles with what later get described as retrograde motion. So that's Kepler. But to be in a Keplerian elliptical orbit, you would need to first appreciate that you and your flat Earth measurements have been taken into a mathematical convention for you to stand in the centre of a ball, to put it in motion with respect to a flat plane still. This is another one that we don't often mention. But with respect to the sun, which, as far as you are concerned, when you stand on the surface of a flat plane and measure those angles to the sun for this convention to exist, you look up and see moving with respect to you. But if you're going to take the mathematical convention of moving with respect to it, you first must measure a flat plane, create a circle, and derive a radial value from said flat circle that's also flat, give it a convention in terms of miles for us to understand it, linear distance measurement, and then take the convention of an angle measurement to a particular point, in this case Polaris, and divide that into ever-increasing circles that are also flat, and lay them out from a Polaris-centric point of view at something called an equatorial plane, so that you can have a system that increases in circular size down what can then be reified and converted in modern times by the Haversine formula into a pretty map wrapped around a position that you would be in at the core of Earth to move around the sun. That understanding is me describing how flat Earth gets measured to create a sphere for you to be in with respect to an orbital motion regarding the sun, and then after that mathematical out-of-the-box thinking, pretend that you're on the converted map that's painted onto the glorified protractor that you were in at the equatorial plane, and suggest that that is your position in the so-called universe that you're now working outside the convention of. So to be on a ball means not only a violation of the base measurement of a flat surface to create that system, but also to convert, or project would be the more accurate word, yourself from within said ball, moving around the sun in an elliptical motion, to the surface of the ball. And that concludes your reification of a heliocentric globe Earth point of view. But in many instances, most instances, people haven't got the slightest clue that that is the process that gets them to being in a mindset that has them standing on the surface of a curved Earth. Doesn't mean we don't know what circles are, doesn't mean we don't know what spheres are, doesn't mean we don't understand how Earth is measured flat to achieve all of the above. Everyone excited for the weekend?
You get- Oh yeah. You're getting really good about explaining that the whole how to make yourself believe you're on a ball instead of in a ball measured from a flat plane. Like
Yeah.
really good at that.
Oh, thank you very much. I mean, 12 years into the subject, you'd hope I'd be able to concisely detail some of this stuff. But understanding the reification process is just the understanding of advanced heliocentrism. Now, previously, when I suggested this, I think it was one of you that, it might even be you, John, that put up the objection to say, well, no, we shouldn't suggest that we're advanced heliocentrists simply because we understand planar projections into orbital motions, as I've just concisely summarised. That doesn't make us advanced heliocentrists.
No, we'd be more of a heliocentric experts, but not heliocentrists.
Precisely. The objection came from the fact that it would suggest that we also partake in said reification. For us to be heliocentric or heliocentrists would mean that we would adhere to said reification. Whereas to understand orbital motion is all we could really describe. We understand how Earth is measured in order to achieve orbital motion. But that doesn't make me a heliocentrist, quite the contrary. In fact, the more accurate would be to say that I can no longer suspend disbelief about being on a sphere now that I understand the heart and soul of the measurement process from a flat plane that was utilised to create the sphere for me to stand in and then pretend I'm standing on. I can't do that anymore. So far from being a heliocentrist, it's the understanding that stops you from suspending disbelief rather than affirming it.
Yeah, it's also one of the reasons, like when you hear some like stories about like Copernicus or any of the older guys, it's hard for some people to believe that they actually accepted that they lived on a sphere to come up with the rhetoric that they did.
Plus, there's nothing new to any of the heliocentric rhetoric, right? The newest you get is about 110 plus years. That's the newest heliocentric rhetoric. The only things that are new or newer than that would be stuff from the 60s or 50s when you're talking about string theory and multi-dimensional universes, which are all pretty much the same expansion on pseudo-Riemannian geometry, just taking it up a few levels in terms of the extraction from a pseudo fourth dimension that doesn't exist to begin with. Now, taking those fanciful ideas further isn't, in my humble opinion, anything new. The origination of that seemingly new material is still Einsteinian pseudo-geometry, and that is about 110 years ago. So I was thinking about it earlier. Somebody in Masterby was saying that we should respond to PhD Tony and put in a link to his video, along with a comment that throughout the video he'd utilised flat earth measurements about every 10 words, which I thought was quite amusing. But when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, well, we don't actually have anything new that we could be dealing with. And it's not because there isn't new material coming out. I mean, this is a new video, right? So it's new. Well, no, there's nothing that anybody from the reified position of being on a ball can offer that's anything newer than about 100 years old. And in reality, we're only talking 500 years of their overall rhetoric. So it's either 500, 400, 300, couple of 100 years old in all instances. Well, that's pretty old. So when people try and explain or expand upon the idea or notion that we're on a reified sphere moving around the sun, isn't going to be anything that we've never come across before, or new rhetoric or anything. It's all pretty much been around since we've been around, right? Nothing's new. So I was thinking, well, why would we want to cover these people anymore? As much as people are going to say, well, you should still do response videos, you're a YouTuber, and to a certain extent I'll have to agree, and we will still do them. But you kind of look at it and kind of sigh a little bit and go, well, I already know that there's no excitement to be held within these videos that we will be responding to from our so-called opponents on the ball, who are just ignorant of the process that Earth has been measured flat to achieve their ball faith with. They'll always be whistling past some flat Earth prerequisites, like the Masterby, that's my internal Teams discussion forum participant, in this case Surf Daddy, was saying. It's like, well, this guy's measuring Earth flat, left, right and centre. Like, yeah, that's all they can do. The cat's out of the bag. We understand the trick. We've seen behind the mirror. The smoke has cleared. We all know how Earth's been measured to produce the ball, to then try and justify it after the fact with about 5 different flat Earth measurements, which is all people seem to do these days. Try as they might, they keep having to appeal to a flat Earth measurement in the first instance, because that's how Earth's measured. Been trimming out more of the show the other day, so Len paid me $100 to go into the worldwide debate server again, in spite of having only previously gone in and done an impromptu visit while my wife was doing some overtime and I've got a pizza to eat. So my wife stopped editing the book and started doing her overtime again to keep her pockets lined, rather than me giving her money from people's generosity here, where I got PayPals from people who were specifically helping me fund my wife's editing time on the book. Well, when she wasn't, or when she isn't, when she does overtime, they'll pay for her to have a pizza, which is lovely. The kids get a slice of pizza, as do I. And that was how I entered into the Worldwide Debates Forum last time, which is to say I was just knocking around doing nothing, and the guys were still in G+, like they are now, after one of the shows, and indeed after show, had finished. So we just joined a server, and then I spent a significant amount of time till about 1 a.m. with them. It's about 8 or 9 hours, I forget how long, a long time. Which I do periodically, like every year or two I'll go in and spend a prolonged period in somebody's server and just chat with them till every single subject's exhausted. And ancillary to that, Leonard said, well, can you go back and swear at them a bit less? I think it'll be a lot more shareable. So I was like, yeah, I can do that. So that's what I've been trimming out. So in a minute I'll play some of the clips from that particular visit, the more recent one. That's to say we're only in there for a couple of hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, including the pre-show. But that I have been trimming out. So just as shareable, all of the shorts videos that I've been producing of late are all sanitized to the point where if you went along now as a live audience member to my homepage and picked out a shorts video and shared it with a random friend, then you wouldn't suddenly get feedback, why have you shared this sweary man with me? I'm put off not by the lack of argumentation, but just because I don't like blue language. Fine. Well, for that reason, there's a lot more sanitized versions of shorts going out of late without any swearing, or very, very limited. And if there is any, it's edited out with a little swoosh sound so you don't hear it. But I'll give you a taster. So this is the one that I edited just before the live show today. With a dangling dingleberry Earth that you've assumed is below a plane you're measuring flat in miles.
So you've proven that the Earth's flat because the measurements themselves, in order to be taken, in order to discuss elevation, need to be vertical, which is in relation to a horizontal plane, which by default accepts the axiomatic reality that we live on a horizontal plane.
Yeah, that's a flat Earth prerequisite description of a measurement to describe that process. Yes. To summarise, Earth is just measured flat.
Oh, it totally makes sense now. The Earth's flat.
Yeah, so it's measured.
The Earth is measured flat. So, because my understanding is land surveyors take Earth curvature into account once they go over a certain distance.
What is Earth curvature exactly?
I said the land surveyors do.
What is Earth curve?
It is the curvature that's due to the shape of the Earth.
How's that measured?
With surveying equipment.
And what do they describe the deviation with respect to?
They reside a tangent line placed on the Earth that goes out in a straight horizontal line.
A tangent to what?
The sphere.
Well, that's not a measurement then, is it? No, tangents are straight. I've asked you where curve's measured.
Yes.
You've given me a straight line.
Yeah, so you can measure the curve
Should we try again?
As a drop from the tangent.
Oh, I see. So it's a drop with respect to a horizontal plane of reference then. So we need a horizontal plane of reference to describe the drop with respect to.
Well, it's only horizontal in that local area where the instrument is touching. As soon as it moves away from that in spot, it starts dropping. I believe it's everybody's favorite approximation of 8 inches per mile squared.
So the mile must be flat and measured to derive this value from then. So a derivative squared function from a flat measurement of miles. So Earth is measured flat with miles for you to infer a tangent plane that isn't a measurement of curve as a derivative from the flat plane we measure in miles.
Can you imagine like a ball with a ruler balanced on top of it? Is that a horizontal line?
No, that's called a
ruler, a horizontal line.
It's called a begging the question fallacy. Rather than measuring curve.
It's not. No, it's not.
I heard your question. Would it be okay if I answered you without you shouting through the top of me that it's not? That's called begging the question. That would be assuming the outcome. Rather than measuring a curve, you're describing a tangential plane that you're going to measure in flat linear distance values called miles, and then use a squared function from the flat measurement of miles. So Earth is measured flat in miles for you to approximate curve from an assumed plane with a dangling dingleberry Earth that you've assumed is below a plane you're measuring flat in miles.
So you've proven that the Earth's flat because the measurements themselves, in order to be taken, in order to discuss elevation, need to be vertical, which is in relation to a horizontal plane, which by default accepts the axiomatic reality that we live on a horizontal plane.
Yeah, that's a flat Earth prerequisite description of a measurement to describe that process. Yes. To summarise, Earth is just measured flat.
Oh, it totally makes sense now. The Earth's flat.
Yeah, so it's measured.
The Earth is measured flat. So
there you go. So that's currently only a members only video. So if you did want to watch that specific video again, although you've just watched it, so it doesn't necessarily.
Was that the one where Bev said he didn't hear them say it? You said it, or was that? Am I thinking of a different?
I banned Bev for that. So Bev kept doubling down on his lie. So he came in on one of the after shows and started pointing out that I was using 8 inches per mile squared to suggest Earth was flat. My response was no. I had opponents that came on the show that told me how they derived Earth curve from flat linear distance measurements in miles that they squared. That is to say, my opponents used flat Earth measurements. And Bev then suggested that he wasn't in the Discord server. So then it was pointed out that he was also suggesting that he could speak on behalf of Riggs, who owns the server, which I stopped him from doing, and even told him that he couldn't if he hadn't been there in the server, to which he responded that he'd been in my live stream watching on YouTube from his server. Me, as a response to that, then pointed out that, well, you did hear opponents put it to me that Earth was measured flat with linear distances in miles that they would square to suggest we've got curvature, i.e. not my claim. And when it was pointed out, having danced around his deception about not being there to hear things, actually was there watching on YouTube live, because he's one of my biggest fans, of course, meant that he would have to, and did, double down on his assertion that I was making the claim of 8 inches per mile squared, at which point I just banned him. I'm like, I don't want to do these dances with people who are going out of their way to misrepresent that which I debunk when my opponents put it to me that they know Earth's curved, that's a positive claim, and then use flat Earth measurements to support their claim. So when somebody uses flat Earth measurements to support their claim, that's not me claiming anything. That's me simply pointing out that my opponents use flat Earth measurements, and they do. But the problem with that is you can't really easily brace against that and tell me I'm wrong when my opponent's measuring Earth flat, because I haven't made any claims. But certain individuals want to besmirch me and discredit me by saying my claim of Earth being measured flat is wrong. No, I haven't made any claims in that regard. Earth is measured flat. An example would be people who come along and say, I can measure a tangential plane. Sorry, tangential? You mean the plane you're measuring, the bit that you've got the measurement for is flat, but you're going to assume there's a dingleberry Earth below the plane that you're measuring. Flat. Yeah, that's correct, yes. People will beg the question of a sphere dangling below the plane they measure flat. But that's not my claim. I don't do that. But if you try and suggest that I do, I'll ban you for lying about me.
Yeah.
Especially when I point it out to you how incorrect you are with examples specific that you've watched yourself while you specifically and deliberately try and misrepresent that which I have not said. In other words, lie. Now, if you happen to be a subscriber to this person, that's Bev Try Thinking, just unsubscribe from them. They are, in this case Bev, proven liars. Now, I don't want to deal with proven liars. Once they've been proven a liar, I've just got no time for them. That's their motivation in life. Their raison d'etre is to lie about others. Why? I don't care. Why would I question liars' motivations once I know they're lying? At which point, get away from me. Don't ever darken my door again. Don't be that person. Now, if you associate with that person, more fool you. You know, you're surrounding yourself with liars. But thieves, liars, deceivers, well, I don't want to be a part of those people's lives. You know, there's so little time to do what life has to offer. Why engage with deceivers, liars, cheats, thieves, scammers? Don't. Well, if you don't have to.
Yeah, he was denying. He was saying that you brought them to the 8 inches per mile squared to debunk them. I was like, are you crazy? They brought it up first. And now we're not letting it go. Like so many times we didn't even deal with 8 inches per mile squared. So now when we hear it, we're jumping on it.
Yeah. Like I say, if you choose to misrepresent what I do here and say, no, you're the one claiming 8 inches. No, I'm not. No, those aren't my claims, right? They're the claims of ball-believing idiots. And the ball-believing idiots who suggest they can derive squared functions from flat measurements need flat measurements. That's it. Earth's measured flat by everyone. Ball believers are the worst offenders because they're always appealing to Earth geometry to make their sphere claims with. And all Earth measurements are flat. There aren't any exceptions. So I don't need to respond to any of these assertions. Once you know the heart of the measurements that produce the ball, you know exactly where they'll be measuring Earth flat when they come up with their reification. If they start with the assumption that Earth's tangential sphere works with respect to a plane that they're measuring flat, that's an ignorance of the origin measurements of Earth's flat surface to create the ball for them to simply beg the question of. That is to say, start at the point that they've already got a ball. Yeah, we're measuring a big flat plane that we've levelled our tool to. It's tangential to a ball I haven't measured that I automatically assume is dangling beneath it. Well, that's you and your flat plane that you will measure for you to believe you're on a ball. Sod all to do with me, I don't care.
That's correct. Yeah, we unbanned them because they were crying that we're all banned, so how could we even come into challenge? So they were unbanned, and it lasted maybe a couple of days, and they just couldn't handle it. They just got to be dishonest. disingenuous and deceivers.
Yeah, and it's the usual tactic. Somebody like Bev will come in, lie through his back teeth, misrepresent what's actually occurred after listening to it, explicitly listening to it, and indeed lie about the circumstances they're listening to. The actual events get twisted so that they can be used against me, a YouTuber. Like, I don't want to deal with this. Get lost. I mean, no doubt they'll bleat and moan, but when these things happen, they come in pairs. So in this case, there's another chap called Elder Bear who comes in with a whole variety of sock accounts and fake voices and voice changes. Pathetic individuals. No name, faceless trolls. Yeah? And we've seen them. When they get exposed to what they are, they often look like buck-toothed, horrendous hillbillies. That's what they generally look like golems. Nevertheless, these general scummy, skanky, lying hillbillies will come along with their fake names and their fake voice changes and defend other liars. Like, step in when they're caught out. In this case, when Bev specifically was caught out lying, about me specifically, which is infuriating, he gets some wingman alongside him suddenly jumping into his defence so he doesn't have to address the lies told that's been caught out explicitly. You weren't listening? Oh, right, but you were listening live? Okay, so you heard them say 8 inches per mile squared. It's recorded. You've just heard it if you're the audience now after the fact. But no, that was placed at my door, in spite of it being highlighted how it definitely wasn't. And when he doubled down on it, after I'd gone to the effort of giving him the benefit of the doubt, no, you're just mistaken. And then he doubled down on it. You're like, no, at this point, you're lying. Not understanding isn't something that I will credit him for. He's not so stupid that he wouldn't understand where it's been corrected. As in, no, you might be hearing me talking about 8 inches per mile squared, but that isn't my claim. It's my opponent's claim that requires a flat earth be measured for their claim. Well, their use of a flat earth measurement's not going to be put at my doorstep. Don't do that. No, you definitely did. You claimed 8 inches per mile squared. Ban. Piss off and never come back. You lying scumbag. Don't double down on your lie when you're caught out and have some wingman chat skank through the top of me pointing out how you've lied. Like that'll make it go away. Scummy.
Very.
But that's what we deal with. These people are just, lost souls as far as I'm concerned. Dweebs and fart sniffers. But there we go. So what do you want to do? We're only halfway through the show.
You know when you said there was nothing new rhetoric-wise for the globe?
Yes.
The last addition to the rhetoric I remember is the claim that Earth's atmosphere goes out way beyond the moon. I don't know if that counts or whether it's just a tweaking of something previous.
Well, it's a derivative value, isn't it? So if you're talking about atmosphere, that's an oxymoronic sphere-shaped air that extends to the distance that's alleged to be the moon's orbital distance. Then you need Copernicus, Kepler, and Huygens. You need to invent a system, put it in motion of elliptical variety around the sun, and scale it with an ingenious assumption that Venus has the same flat Earth measured radial value as Earth's flat Earth measured radial value. And when you superimpose Earth's flat Earth measured radial value, as was done by Huygens, you can then infer by way of Kepler's elliptical motion the distance to the moon, to the sun, to Venus, to scale everything in the heliocentric worldview. Once you have those scale distances, you can suggest that that flat Earth derived scaled distance in an assumed orbital elliptical motion is the value Huygens gives it when he scales it with Earth's radius on Venus. Once you understand all that, you go, well, so I've got to take all of those assumptions and flat Earth measurements that violate the base principle of moving around the sun with the moon moving around us. Again, all of which would be described from within a ball, not on a ball. That distance is not a derivative of the Earth's surface. It's a derivative mathematically of this. You inside a ball with the Earth moving around you and the moon moving around the sun. That's how these planar measurements translate into an orbital motion. Once you understand that, it's the same principle as I said at the beginning of the show. I can't suspend disbelief that I am on/in this ball to have the moon move around it and both move around the sun. That's beyond my ability to suspend disbelief. Understanding the maths of the flat earth measurements is to be incapable of reifying them into existence. That's also got a term, theatrically speaking. It's called alienation, where you leave the audience in a position where they no longer suspend disbelief about what is on the stage, what's being presented to them in the theatre or on the TV screen or on the movie screen. That alienation happens for us when we understand Earth measurements for a ball. Understanding Earth's flat measurements for a ball mean that you and I cannot be in the ball to believe that the Earth and Sun are in motion with respect to each other and the Moon with respect to the Earth. That would require you be in Earth to get the distances, to then suggest that those distances are applicable to a concept called oxymoronic sphere-shaped air, aka atmosphere. A sphere-shaped gas without containment, not dispersing into the sky vacuum, that is only there as a consequence of reifying said orbital elliptical motion scale by Huygens. So if you know that it's a violation of the flat Earth measurement used in the first instance to measure this system, you know that there can't be a necessity to reify beyond that being inside a ball to being in a sky vacuum with the extended non-contained gas at a value scaled by Huygens. Like I say, this comprehension means that I am alienated from the belief that I'm in/on a ball. "51 people watching. Brilliant stuff. It used to be the case that we'd shout it out over 100, but these days, getting over 50, I'll take it. Very warm welcome to all of you who've just joined us live. If you're in the position to support me financially, that is to say you have the means to do so, there is a PayPal and a Ko-Fi link below this video. Now, these videos do not afford me a income from the finances from the ad revenue. It only is by the grace of God that people are generous enough to see that what I do is valuable, and for them to support me via things like the Ko-Fi, PayPal, Patreon, and all those good links that are below this video. So if indeed you don't have the means to support me via those links, then please share one of the shorts videos like you heard a moment ago, where people who are on our so-called opposing side use flat Earth measurements to reify their ball, which they are ignorant of its flat Earth measurement origins, into existence to justify to me, a YouTuber, how spherical their world is in their mind's eye, because they are still in a position where they can suspend disbelief enough to believe that they're on, ignoring that they would be in a ball. So share one of those shorts videos. There's loads of publicly available ones, and I'm trickling them out 1 or 2 a day that are currently members only, like the one that you just heard, so that you can share those with a friend. They are very sanitized. But if you do have the means to actually support me financially, please do so. Like I say, don't stand on ceremony. That's how the lights remain on and the mortgage paid, and gives me the ability to keep making YouTube videos about how ball-believing people measure Earth flat for their reification of their ball belief. So please share the show and hit me up on PayPal and Ko-Fi, or join as a Patreon if you have the means to do so. If you don't, please share one of the shorts videos. I also released a long form video, actually. So I released an 8-minute long version of one of those. I couldn't squeeze it down into a clip that was worthy. You know, it needed to be more long form. So I ended up just doing it as a normal formatted video. And that's about 8 minutes long. And it's called something like Entropy versus Flat Earth Measurements, I think is the name of that video. But that's not a shorts video. It's a little bit longer. Like I say, I just couldn't hack it down to 3 minutes. Yeah, there's loads of material. Loads of really, really, really good material coming out on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel at the moment. And if you happen to want to watch the Uncut and After show, you can join my second channel, which is also linked below, called Nathan Oakley. And you get to see these shorts clips as the preview for the Uncut and After show. So if you click on an Uncut and After show from Nathan Oakley channel, the second channel, then you'll see a shorts video that chances are is members only, and you can watch that prior to the actual premiere of the stream that's delayed start. So all of those videos go out to members. So if you did want to join and watch the Uncut and After Show, or indeed the shorts videos before they are released to the public, then you can join as a member. But if you didn't want to do that, again, the material does all eventually become free to the public, but you can watch it on the second channel, which is called Nathan Oakley. Again, links below this video. Got a book update. Should I give that? Although we discussed it 3 times in the pre-show.
Not in a live.
So at about 1 a.m. this morning, or 1:30 a.m., I got a message back from my publisher saying I need these images sent back in a 300 DPI format, which was kind of my anticipation that I'd get, because it was the same case with the ebook cover. So I've now sent him half a dozen or so rescaled images that will be eventually printed inside the book on the ebook format initially, and then eventually in a paperback or hardback format, so that they are correct for both. He's asked to have them in a particular DPI. Now, I don't really know what I'm doing with things like Adobe Photoshop and other such software, but I've struggled my way through, and Craig from Click OK Computers has offered to help me if I can't figure it out of my own accord on this particular occasion, having spent 10 attempts to do it with the ebook cover. So hopefully that's the only obstacle. As far as the editing, that was done at Easter. The book was complete. All the pictures were there and dusted. It's just little niggles that have come along and extra edits that I didn't necessarily have to put in, and now reformatting pictures for the inside of the book. But shouldn't be more than a couple of weeks. But yeah,
2 weeks.
Well, I don't know. It could be tomorrow, as far as I'm concerned. He might get back and say, yeah, the ones that you've sent are fine, and therefore I'll just do the other 7 images. It might be that all 22 images for the whole book are all scaled incorrectly in the wrong DPI, in which case I'll have to gather up all 20 or 25 or however many images, send them off to Craig and say, can you get these all to 300 DPI? And then they can be sent back, and then the book will be published. But that might take a couple of days. It might take a couple of weeks. It just depends, doesn't it? It's not like my publisher's only dedication is my book, so I can totally appreciate that he's not going to be immediately doing things that I send to him. You know, in an ideal world, everything would arrive at his doorstep in the right resolution, fully edited and finished. Well, that's not the world we live in, and I'm one man, and my wife's helped me edit, you know, so from that point of view, I do have assistance from people like yourself, and often that results in things being stolen from me, which has also caused delays, but such is life. It'll be out when it comes out, Neil. That's why I'm doing the plugs. So if you're like, why are you suddenly doing mid-roll plugs for your PayPal and Patreon? Well, this is why. I don't want to start getting twitchy and pestery with my publisher. You know, he'll do it when he's good and ready to do it. And when it comes out, best things come to those who wait. It'll be a really good publication. And I'm very excited for it to come out, and I don't want that feeling to disappear just because I'm poor. Now, don't get me wrong, the whole point of doing it is because I'm poor. But for the fact that I've got extremely generous subscribers, I wouldn't be sat here doing this now, right? And I can calmly disseminate the flat earth measurement facts to an audience, and in this case, somebody who's reading a book, a reader, whatever you call that person, because I've got generous audience members, and people go, no, I can actually afford to send Nathan a tenner. It's not going to break my bank to do so. And over the last maybe week or so, people have done exactly that. New people that wouldn't have typically. So I can only assume they're directly responding to me going, look, what keeps the lights on at the moment is the generosity of people hitting the PayPal or Ko-Fi link below the video and sending me a £5 or a tenner or 20 quid. Or in the case of a couple of days back, Len sent me $100, which massively eases the stress of being a very small YouTuber, but doing it as a proper career, as a living, right? And I've done for 10 or 12 years now. I mean, there's been a transition period in between that, but realistically 10 years of full-time YouTubing, and I've never been in a position where the ads have paid my mortgage or electricity bill, ever. It's always been PayPal donations and Patreons and Ko-Fi people who are like, here's a £5. And you're like, perfect, thank you so much. That's what keeps me going. So I hope a few people hear my cry out today, or whatever you call it, shout out today to my own Patreons and my own Ko-Fi links, and people actually go, okay, yeah, I can afford to spare a £5. I'm sure it's not going to break my bank. Maybe more. Maybe someone will send me 20 quid. Who knows? But yeah, I've got to do a bit of e-begging. And then when the book comes out, maybe I'll do a campaign. I've been itching to replace this piece of crap because it keeps going wrong. So yesterday I was trying to get it to work when making a piece of music in Suno, right? And the battery's so knackered it keeps running out with it on charge now, which is so irritating. You're like, oh, I must get it on charge. So you get it on charge and the number still goes down. I'm like, ah. So it still ran out while I was working, tied to literally to my bed where the charger is. So very frustrating. Now, over the last 18 months, maybe a year, I've been tempted, I even set one up at one point, to try and e-beg for a new iPad because it's really old and it gets used 13 hours a day, like minimum. Normally 14 or 15 hours a day. It's constantly in use. So for that reason, it's worn out. It needs replacing. The hard drives are all full. The screen's cracked. The port doesn't work. It doesn't accept any accessories or microphones anymore. There's a lot wrong with it. But I don't want to do an e-begging campaign for it before the book comes out. And I've delayed doing an e-begging campaign for at least 2 years. There's been various points that I've gone, I'm really poor. I should really do an e-begging campaign, like a proper one, like a GoFundMe. And I haven't, because I don't want it to be the last thing that happens just before the book comes out. Well, for that entire period, I'm like, a couple of weeks, the book will be out. So I've delayed and delayed and delayed. Once the book comes out, I might say, well, now it's out, sod it. It's not immediately going to generate enough money for a new iPad. But the chances are that's probably one of the first things I'll do within a month of the book coming out. I'll do a little GoFundMe campaign and go, oh, I really need an iPad. You know, I need to keep producing videos. And at the moment, it's getting to the point where it's broken to the point where I can't do it effectively or efficiently. So I'm going to try and replace it, but I just don't have the money to do so. But then it won't be prior to the book coming out, like the last thing that everybody focuses on prior to the book coming out. So I want it to be afterwards. So that's probably what I'll do. But like I say, I don't think I've done any e-begging campaigns for about 2 years, maybe even 3 years. It's been a long time since I've done a proper stint of e-begging for something that I need. Now, given that the iPad's just about hanging on, I can just about justify it being a pain in the arse and having to constantly be on charge and plugged in. When you see me using it, you've normally got me on camera with a wire going into it, and that's why, because it's just crap, you know. I don't want Craig to work on it either, because it's got a cracked screen, and I just know it'll just disintegrate the moment he runs string around the edge of it. So I don't want to risk that, given it does still just about work, admittedly without, you know, being able to use a decent mic into it or any accessories or anything. But anyway, yeah, look out for my e-begging campaign for that once the book's out. Anyway.
That must be the regular answer. Even when I'm doing work, contracting work. How long do you think it's going to take? About 2 weeks.
Exactly. That's why I keep saying it. It's just a couple of weeks. I mean, back when I was getting help from a couple of editors, I was being overly generous with the audience by saying it could come out today, right? It's being held back by people who are saying it needs to be polished up and it needs to be worked on. But I could realistically publish it today. I don't know if you remember me putting that rhetoric out, which was to say I could put it out today if I pulled the trigger, right?
Yes, and that's what they choose to mock. And I think that's what they've been sending out there. Yeah, you would have put this out there. Call it first.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what people choose to mock, I don't really care. I mean, my life is my own, and the path it's on is the path it's on. And in this case, with the book, it'll come out when it comes out. And I am highly anticipating it being well received. Now, that's not to say that I don't think for 1 second that people who want it to be bad and have already decided it's not good simply because they are in contradiction of what it says. Even then, it's hard to think of a scenario where someone can read a demonstration of flat Earth prerequisite measurements of Earth's surface and say, no, I don't agree. You're like, it's not like an axiom's dependent on your agreeance and your disapproval that I'm pointing it out in written form. It's kind of meaningless. Who cares? Those
What's going on with the measurements, though, Nathan? I'm going to tell you. Here's what people are saying. Like they're visioning in their mind. This is how it was explained to me. They know that the measurement from inch to mile is linear, right? But you can measure. Now, don't interrupt me. Let me finish. You could measure going over an arc. Measure it, and it's got a certain measurement. But here's where it fails, because that don't work when you're measuring height over distance, okay, you need a horizontal baseline to maintain 30,000 feet for over 200 miles. All right? These are not understanding something when we're talking about measurements. We're not saying you can't freaking measure something that's curved, but the measurements are still linear. And it's a horizontal plane because we have these things called flight, right? Things called freaking railroads, right? Oh, and that's the other thing. Sea level. So you can't get around it. Can't keep going back to trying to figure out how you measure on a globe or how it could be done in a globe. Once you measure it flat, the globe should be out of your mind.
Yeah, well, we know how they do it on a globe. I mean, the guy that was in that clip described it, right? So you measure Earth flat with a tangential plane, level it to a point that you assume has a single point in connection with a ball that you haven't measured, that you assume dangles below the plane that you're actually measuring. Like, why do you think you've got this inference of a tangential plane with an assumed sphere dangling below that which you measure flat in miles? Well, so that you can reify the idea of a ball dangling below a flat plane that you measure in flat miles. But you don't need the extraction after the fact. Miles are flat. Distance is flat. When you look at a map or a scale, or go to the Ordnance Survey, or build on anything, survey it, chart it, map it, sail with respect to it, fly over it, all of those things are done with the axiomatic principle of a mile being straight and linear. Now you're saying, well, distance over the altitude remains the same, but then you're using two axioms. Flight level is axiomatically reliant on surface level distance being linear and perpendicular altitude with respect to sea level. So you've got three flat Earth prerequisites to describe what level flight is. That's not up for debate. That's what it is. So when people say, no, I'm down with respect to a gravitational vector, like, down is also perpendicular to a plane. Gravity, if you're describing Newtonian gravity, incorrect and 111 years out of date that it is also describing a vector perpendicular to a plane. That's what it is. You don't have to like that, but even your axioms that you suggest get around how flat, linear, and perpendicular a flight level must be with respect to sea level, because you can throw in this word gravity. Gravity is also dependent on planar axioms, regardless of what gravity you use. Specific gravity, down or up relative to the medium with respect to a plane. Newtonian gravity, down with respect to a plane. Pseudo-Riemannian geometry, planar, three-dimensional, with an inference of a non-visible, non-detectable fourth pseudo-dimension. It's all planar. None of them deviate from the axiomatic principle. They can't! That's the point. So it doesn't matter where they go. Squirm to a gravity inference, squirm to a tangential plane inference, squirm to a deviation from linear miles at a squared function rate. Whatever you try to infer sphericity with will always and can only rely upon Earth's flat measurements. There are no exceptions.
Yeah, we went over that the other day. I mean, anything you try, it'll all require a flat plane. Just accept it, move on, don't get upset.
Well, I deviate from you. Like when I was talking to the guys in the Discord server a couple of days back, and the guy was like, why should I trust you, a YouTuber? I couldn't give the tiniest of shites. What, you deny a mile? Okay. You deny perpendicularity? Okay. You deny sea level? Okay. I don't care. Do what you like. I'm not the arbiter of any of this stuff. I didn't come up with a mile. I didn't come up with linear distances. I didn't come up with perpendicular altitudes or parallel eye levels. None of those things are incumbent on me to prove. They're axioms. It's not in dispute. Not only is it not in dispute, their fundamental foundations of their sphere belief rely on them being true. Like the guy who found out in that clip. What are you going to use to suggest you've got Earth curve? Well, we'll measure a big fat plane. We'll level a tool with respect to it, measure distances from it, and then just, say we've got a dangling dingleberry Earth below it after measuring it all flat. Because why? Well, because I've got a ball dangling from a single point that I assume. Right, okay, so you've managed to whistle past how you got that ball to believe it was dangling below the plane you're measuring. Well, how did we get the ball for you to beg the question of it dangling below a plane? Well, we measured Earth flat and derive radial values that are linear. That's what a radius is. How did we derive them? We measured Earth flat with angles. Now, if you don't know that, you're just ignorant. I do know that. But do I care if you know it or understand it or comprehend it after I've verbalised it? Nah, not really. I don't care. I don't, most of the time, know their names. So do I care if you accept what I say? No, I'm not the arbiter of it. Your own ignorance can remain intact regardless of me having pointed out how ignorant you are and your failure to comprehend the words coming out of my freaking mouth for you to ask me, do I need to trust you? Nah, you can get lost. I don't care what you do. Literally, it makes no difference to me if you disbelieve me. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. You think telling me I'm wrong is going to change what a mile is? No, definitely not. Right, got about 10 minutes left.
They can always complain to the cartographers, right?
For what? What are you going to do? I don't like the fact that there's an inconsistency with my sphere belief when you go out and measure miles linear or utilise altitudes from sea level to the millimetre accuracy. I don't like those things. They don't work with a ball. I mean, they do. You take those measurements and create a ball with them. So your ball's reliant on them. Why would you want to change them? Well, because they mean we're measuring Earth flat first.
Oh, we got somebody here. Oh, dear. It's a guy called at One Dimension 1D World Order. Number one, I tried to get you to realize a simply fact with 1D, reifying a measurement from a lower dimension. 2D is the first measurement, which can retain some curvature as a list of measurements.
That made absolutely
Anybody
no sense.
understand what that guy's talking about?
I have no idea. That made no sense. Like I say, same applies to people who recently have been presented to me like we should be responding to them. It's like, there's nothing new under the sun. We know where your origin story lies. The globe origin story's flat Earth measurements. On screen now is a demonstration of them. Yeah?
Right.
But it doesn't matter what anybody tells me anymore. You can tell me all you like. I don't care what you've got to say anymore. Maybe people don't realise this. Right, when I said about a year ago, the debate's over, I meant it. There wasn't ever any debate. You coming along and telling me I'm wrong. Sorry, did you incorrectly assume that I am the arbiter of distances? Or elevation angles? Or perpendicular eye level, sea level, surface level, flight level? No, I'm not. I mean, you can tell me I'm wrong all you like. If it makes you feel better, feel free.
It's a misrepresentation of us. It would be reification to state that measurement implies a straight, flat world without any curves. Did we say that?
I mean, if you want to say curves, you can measure the curve. The curve that we measure are hills. Hills curve. We measured them. What is it? Is it a reification to say that the curve isn't that when we measured the curve? It's deviating from a horizontal planar reference called sea level to give you deviation in the vertical. Yeah? When you build a house, you measure it with rise over run. What's the run? Horizontal linear distance measurement. What's the rise? Well, it's the vertical deviation with respect to the horizontal measurement in miles. That's what rise over run is. That's how we build things. Now, you could turn around to someone who's building something and go, don't automatically assume that the run in rise over run doesn't have curve. It's like, no, we're measuring the curve with respect to it, you dumbass. You can tell me how flat and linear distances should be assumed to be curve, but that would make you mental.
We don't live in a 2D world, but still look at measurements in 2D and even use one-dimensional to create various two-dimensional representations, you will need one dimension. Here's what you could do. World order, just the same way you're in this chat, you could join the voice chat.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. We are living in a material world, and I am a material girl.
And you just want to have fun, right?
Are you being a LARPer? Oh, no, that's LARPer. Sorry. Those two things are very easy to confuse.
No, I got disconnected on my pun. I know who yours is, but I was throwing a Cindy in there.
Throwing a Cindy? I think that's known as throwing a Karen.
Don't get the Madonnas mixed up with your Cindy's.
Yeah, it's a bit like celibacy and Shirley Bassey. Very easy to confuse. But simultaneously very different.
I thought it was going to be a Freaky Friday today, and you were going to pop in some other server.
Nah. I did that on Tuesday. I mean, I've been editing the material all week. So, nah, I've got no desire. I mean, one deck was suggesting maybe I should do it once a quarter or something just to keep my hand in. But when I went in for the 8-hour stint, I think one deck was, again, the one who guessed this. He's like, did you just do that because you know that you'll be out and about promoting your book soon and you just want to keep your tool sharp? And I was like, pretty much. There's going to be some arseholes that are put in front of me inevitably, regardless of how well vetted the places I go in the future are. There's always going to be that, oh, well, you know, you said we were going to be having a nice little one-to-one about your book that's come out. Here's asshole, I didn't tell you was going to be here. And he's going to talk through you constantly. Enjoy. When that happens, having 30 ballers do it simultaneously in a platform, for the most part, that I have no control over. At one point, I was actually transferred when we went in the second time to my own room that I could have put people on mute. And the justification was, well, you don't have to exercise control. Now, what I wanted to say was, I will always be in control, regardless of where I am. But I just don't have a mute button now, and you're giving me one when you move me. Now, that's fine. I didn't exercise the ability to use it. But that's what the cuck cowards from the Globe side want to blame when they don't have enough brave pills in them to come here. They can use the excuse, if I went there, I'd just get muted. Well, when I'm in servers that I have no control over, in the open platform, the neutral bit, where there's 30 ballers who all want to pile on me at once when I come to making a conclusory statement, and I have to take control over them verbally, which I can very easily do. I've been doing this for 10 years. I don't need to shut them down with anything other than my sharp wit and my tongue when I'm yawning away at them babbling on about gas dispersion like anybody cares beyond the people who are sniffing their own farts. I don't care, and I'll point that out to them how boring they are while they try and burn a straw man about the Sahara versus the Amazon with the gas pressure that's measured from a flat plane with altitude. Yeah, I'll just point out that we're measuring a flat plane with altitude while you try and burn this straw man that has no relevance. While the yak happy try and talk through the bit where I confirm how flat they are measuring Earth in a 30-strong crew of Globe believers who definitely don't want to hear the painful truth from me while I'm there, and they can all talk through me just by pressing a little button, opening their line and yakking through the top of me. I can still cope. No problem at all, yeah? I've been doing this for a long time. The ones who say that they would be unfairly treated and that I've got a mute button, they tend to be the biggest pussies, yeah? That's the reality.
You got it wrong, Nathan. You said he'll just mute me. You got it wrong. You got to get the whole thing right, the whole statement right. He'll shout me down and then mute me.
Yeah, the shut you down bit is contrary to me.
Not shut you down, shout. Shout, shout. You know?
Let it all out. Yeah. Well, no, in the case of what you've just heard, I wasn't shutting anybody down. I mean, the guy was shutting me down when I came to make my conclusion about his tangential plane that's measured flat with the begging the question fallacy. When I got to the bit where I'm starting to detail the begging the question fallacy, what do I hear? No, 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 through the top of me. Effectively a mute button that they're using verbally because they don't want to hear how they've just employed a fallacy. That's not me shutting anybody down. That's me addressing their use of flat measurements, linear distances, miles, and squared function from flat planes that they measure that they suggest are tangential to a ball they have not measured, aka begging the question, no, 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 no. Yeah, that's what you want to do when you get your ass spanked by me. But you can blame a mute button. Yeah, that's what you can do. Because it's nice and easy, because then all the people around you go, no, he's not a complete pussy. It's not like Nathan's had an open door policy and absolutely without question lets the claimant make their claim before he then beats the living piss out of them with their own stupid assertions that use flat earth measurements. No, no, that's me muting them. Yeah, you're all pussies. And you know it too, don't you? Deep down inside.
So what you're saying is they're projecting, so they're the ones yelling and muting you.
Yeah.
So when they say all Nathan will do is yell at me and then mute me, it's what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, because they want to burn their straw men, and often it's being pointed out and taken apart. Whereas if they just repeat it through the top of me, then obviously the response isn't heard. Yeah, muting, basically. But that's what they all do. Like, I've got endless examples of it. To get these videos down to 3 minutes, I have to hack out all of the times that I attempt. You notice you're not hearing me counting off the attempts in any of these 3-minute videos. It's because they all get edited out. Yeah? It won't fit into 3 minutes. It ends up being 10. Why? Because I've attempted to refute them multiple times that I count off. As an example, McToon. 100 times. That's hash 99 times I've told you this tune. And what do? Like little girls. La, 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 I can't hear you. I don't mind counting them off. Yeah? And then I'll just edit them out and make the concise conclusion. With you putting to me the shite that you essentially say is your proof of a ball. And then when I take what you say is proof of a ball and point out how you are measuring Earth flat, you can guarantee you'll be hearing, no, 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 through the top of me trying to point it out 8 times.
You know what it is? It's a dead giveaway, too, because you could be explaining something, right? And then when it's getting to a devastating point, they start saying, no, no, interrupt. So it's like, wow, these people are dead giveaways. I mean, right there, you're giving yourself up. If you just shut your mouth and let him finish with the entire freaking statement, but at the devastating point, you're yelling, no, no, and interrupting and just
or they're asking you,
blocking what Nathan's saying.
Exactly. Or they ask a new question, which is to say, you get to the point in that particular set of shorts videos, which will be released in the next couple of weeks to the members of the public rather than the members of my channel. They're already released to those if you want to become a member. But as those videos show, when I get to the point that I want to conclude that to discuss altitude measurements with respect to sea level, we need to accept axiomatic principles of perpendicularity with respect to sea level. Well, what happens while I'm pointing that out? No, explain why Sahara Desert has got a lower gas pressure than the... That's being asked of me while I'm making the conclusion about altitude. So let's quickly throw in a new question that's irrelevant over the top of the conclusion, because then we don't have to hear it. But like I say, that will be projected back out like I'm muting them. That's what I hear.
Explain seasons to me.
Yeah, exactly. Just rant something through the top of the conclusion that demonstrates how the last person that spoke to me measured Earth flat. And then we don't have to hear how that person measured Earth flat. And we can continue to measure Earth flat to suggest sphericity without anybody coming along and ruining it all by pointing out that my claim needs a flat Earth measurement in it. That just ruins everybody's day. Answer a new question with me chat skanking through the top of the conclusion that I don't want to hear.
Well, I like when they say time. How does the sun movement work on a freaking flat Earth? Then you could take them right into time, how it's made.
Yeah,
that was funny the other day. Every time somebody said something, you just start explaining to them that that'll need a flat plane or that'll need a flat orientation as well. Everything they said, that must have been driving them mad. I was cracking up.
We'll end on one particular example of exactly that occurring. The straw man trying to be burned while I'm trying to point out how flat Earth is being measured. And even when they're trying to present a straw man, I'll still tolerate it until it's concluded, right? Regardless of how completely irrelevant to whatever we are discussing is. I'll still hear their straw man, made in full. Just give me a second and I'll give you another example of exactly that. This is available to the public. This video is called Very Interesting. Fascinating dweeby stuff. Really interesting if you're a dweeb. Me, I'm not that interested in our gas dispersers. Who cares?
If the pressure in laterally dispersed locations,
laterally dispersed as in dispersed with respect to a plane,
versus over a great sandy desert, for example, was very low levels of life and air being produced, right?
Very, very interesting. Anything else? And that's really what I'm here for. Fascinating dweeby stuff. Really. There you go. Just a short one. Anyway, I'll do one last call to action. So if you are watching this and you do have the means to support the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, or indeed Nathan Oakley channel, if you happen to be watching this on the second channel, then hit the Ko-Fi or PayPal link, or join as a Patreon, join as a member, and then you can watch more of these shorts videos before they get linked to the public, like this one that you just heard is. However, if you don't have the means, which is totally understandable, to support me financially and keep the lights on and the mortgage paid, then please share one of these shorts videos. They are all sanitized versions of, in some instances, quite sweary interactions in Discord servers with ball-believing Muppets. But in that particular instance, and indeed the majority of the more recent shorts videos on my short section on my main homepage of my channel, you can share those as they are sanitized with basically anybody, and that would be an equally good way of supporting the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel. However, I do keep the lights on with financial support from people like yourself, so if you are in the position to support me financially via the Ko-Fi link or the PayPal link, or joining as a Patreon or joining as a member, please do so. I do typically, unless I'm very much mistaken, respond to all of the PayPals that I get with a thank you and acknowledgement of the kind words that typically come alongside a lot of those donations. So if you have been one of the recent donators to this channel, or indeed me personally via PayPal or Ko-Fi, thank you very much indeed. I'm sure, as I say, you have already had a response from me via an email or the messaging service on PayPal, but I am extremely grateful for all those people who've given me 5s and 10s and in some instances more over the last few days, so it is extremely well appreciated. I will say, however, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley channel premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Jolly good, jolly good.
Anyhow.
How you all doing in the Discord server? Almost no interaction from you whatsoever on that show.
Nathan, Alpha needs permission from his wife, first of all. If he doesn't get permission from his wife, he can't talk. Because she told him, she's saying right now, remember the last time, I warned you not to go in there. You went in there and you made an ass out of yourself.
Okay. I don't think we had any interaction whatsoever from the Discord server today.
Yeah. Good luck with that job now. Fingers crossed for you, buddy.
Yeah. I'm going to give a precise measurement today. Give him a price and get me going, baby. Yeah, the people in Discord, I don't know what's going on with them. I really don't. Who's even in there?
We've got Divergent Droid, Fourth Right, Alpha Murphy, Dank, Diego, Flat Earth Cafe, Mikey, Rectifier, The Viking, Zark, and Harp. Hello!
Please pay attention to the debate text, where whatever is playing games right now. And over the last week, Jesse and Finky have been shilling for the Globe and just, completely trolling everybody, and nothing's being done about these guys. I tell them to come into the show and they run away.
Who'd you say it was?
They run away.
Is this in Flipside?
The debate text.
Don't know what
Yes,
that means.
Nathan, it's in the Flipside server.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't speak to that, I'm afraid. As selfish as it may sound, Harp, I only use the server for this so that I can talk to you now. So that's about all I use it for. Like with any server I go in.
Right. I'm trying to get these guys to come in, and hold themselves accountable for their bullshit. But two of them ran away, and the other one's just chat skanking. So
Yeah, we could take care of that. If you're gonna chat skank, we don't have time for that. There's a voice chat you can come into. I mean, if you want to go back and forth with them, that's fine. Because you get complaints when you go in there and you read some of the stuff and you're like, I'm done with this guy, time him out. Then somebody's like, what are you doing? I like debating with them. Okay, fine. That's why I'm not doing it anymore. You understand, Hop?
yeah, so I'm going to just put your name in there.
Well, what's some of the things they're saying? Give me one.
I want you to go up and just look. You can see, click to see attachment. Just click that attachment and go all the way up there. See what I posted and see how they've handled it. They're just trolling and that's it. That's all they do. They're useless.
Like I got this guy, the
In the
Viking.
meantime, nobody wants to come in and demonstrate their claims.
Okay, I went to the FED text, and the first thing I see is Neil's ignoring my DMs, giving me the silent treatment.
No. The debate text.
In Teams. In Teams.
Debate text.
Okay, debate text. Let me see. Debate text. Why can't I see debate text? Oh, all right, I see it. All right, let's see what they're doing, Hop.
So who are these people, first of all?
Chat skanks.
One more time.
Finky and whatever.
Whatever and Pinky.
And Jesse.
Jesse, whatever.
Oh, Jesse packed a light.
Yes.
He got his ass handed to him.
Jesse is there.
He got his ass handed to him the other day. Oh, so that's why you don't want to come in. Oh, I see. He said he came in real quick, but he had something to do. I don't know. But here's the thing. This is all they want to do is spew their nonsense in the chat. So it's there. And they feel good about it. They feel like they won.
Well, nobody needs that in here.
All right. I'll take care of it. Now, whatever. Is whatever one of you guys or is he...
whatever's one of them guys.
What's the problem with them sharing their pain in the chat? I don't really follow.
Well, it gets to the point where Hawk says he's dealt with it, and then they keep just spewing the nonsense, and it gets a little annoying.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, though. That's pretty much what I've been doing for the last 10 years. So... I'm not being funny, but is that it? Just that they won't relinquish their theory beliefs? How's the card done?
They just keep saying the same thing over and over and ignoring all the evidence they're presented with. Period. That's what they do.
Did they fix it? Did they fix the lights?
I mean, they're pathetic individuals to me, and they don't need to be here.
Sorry, I was talking to my wife. I was off mute as well. I'm really sorry. Whoops.
What I don't understand, Hop, is I'm seeing images of flat Earth everywhere. Are these your images or theirs? What are they trying to say?
The ones I began with, yeah, all those infrared. Yeah, they just, they just ignore it. get by it and talk a bunch of shit. That's all they do. Nobody needs that. If you want to come at me with something, which I know you have nothing, do so, but you got nothing.
Well, he's gone for a week, and let's see what we can do with Pinky. Yeah, if you dealt with it, see, that's the thing, Nathan. If it's being dealt with, and they're just holding they're shutting their eyes and closing their ears and going la 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 la, then they're just there to freaking break people's balls. And
That's it.
I'm a ball breaker myself, but when you're talking about this, and you get hit with a fact of Earth being measured flat, that's when you got to take a stand. Now, I've been hearing you saying, Hawk, that saying Earth is measured flat is stupid.
No, I never said that. Nope, never said that. When you're measuring miles and you're going down the road, it's a whole different show. These guys don't seem to get that. So they see me post a picture and say, these are miles that everybody recognized. To say that these prove a flat Earth is retarded. But now when you're taking a measurement 8 inches per mile squared, it has to be a linear measurement.
What you mean
the
is
map has to be a linear measurement.
I love it. So when they use miles,
I understand the difference.
When they use miles linear to derive a curve function from, then yeah, of course, the miles that we're going to appeal to are flat and can only be flat. We're deriving curve from the flat measurements after the fact. Those flat Earth measured miles are fine for us to use to suggest sphericity with them. But if you're going to appeal to them, then no, you have to appeal to a car's tacho.
Right. Yes, that's what they do. I tried to
that's shite,
help
isn't it?
them understand the difference, but they refuse.
But just let them. And what I mean by that is, okay, if you want to believe that the Ordnance Survey went out with cars and measured the surface with tachos, as opposed to the millimetre accuracy that they actually measured the surface level with linear distances of miles and deviations in the vertical to millimetre accuracy for the maps and scales that we measured Earth with, then you can believe that we actually use tachos if you want. We don't. That's ludicrous. But your little straw man will work to keep you in your globe faith suspending disbelief for another day, so good for you.
Yeah, but see how they misrepresented Hop there? They were saying that, even Hop is saying that Earth measured flat is stupid to say. When you get Hop and he breaks it down, see, they didn't say the other part. They didn't break it down how Hop just broke it down.
No, they never
So
do.
they're disingenuous.
What's stupid about
They're
the
they're
one
globe
point that
shells,
we all
you know what
agree
I mean?
on? I don't go against that.
Only they can use flat miles to derive curvature, John. It's only reasonable.
Saying that a mile in measurement proves flat Earth is stupid, Hop.
Measuring Earth flat doesn't mean it's flat, Harp. What's your problem?
When they drop that little
when
tangent line down there, it's even funnier because they get no drop. There is no drop. It's just always straight and forward, linear, always. There's no
Are you
drop.
expecting any drop?
Well, when
Not
they're going
for-
to
not
describe
for the
drop
last
to
12
you,
years.
they're going to use the linear function to do it. So how's that helping?
Yeah,
You got to repeat that, John.
Are you saying drop with respect to what? The drop is described with respect to a plane also.
Exactly.
Yes,
All
we
you
know
got
that.
is that straight line. Never a drop.
And
I mean,
to
there is.
describe the
Well,
drop,
I
you need
should
to
correct that.
describe it
Hold
from
on,
the flat
hold on.
plane of reference.
Stop. No, I just want to correct that. That's not strictly true. In the paradigm of globe Earth versus flat Earth, that controlled opposition psyop that we've all been involved with for 10 years, then no drop deviating from the linear flat miles. In reality, we measure plenty of drops. They're called hills. We've measured Earth to the millimetre. We know exactly how much drop there is. It's all measured with respect to a flat linear distance. That's how we measure drops. So we do definitely measure drop, we just don't measure the suggested sphericity. And if we did, we'd be measuring it with respect to the linear miles. When they calculate into existence a sphere, they also use a tangential plane and just assume that there's a single point with a globe that's already been calculated into existence dangling beneath it. But that isn't that isn't measuring drop. That's calculating into existence drop based on an assumed sphere that hasn't been measured at that particular point that they beg the question. Now, the sphere that's been assumed for them when they beg the question of it has also been derived from flat Earth measurements. But derived, that is to say calculated, is not measured. But drop is measured. We measure hills. There's a drop with respect to the linear distances that must be axiomatically adhered to measure Earth to the millimetre accuracy. Any drop whatsoever has already been measured, long ago before any of us were here. So drop, yeah, we definitely measure drop. It's measured from the parallel, perpendicular. All of these axioms are required to measure drop. It's just not Earth curve drop.
I hope that made it in the book that way, because that was perfect.
That was pretty precise. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a whole friggin' thing as he's saying it in my mind. Yes, 100%. Well said.
Right. Well, when they describe drop, they want to say from level to level is how they would define it. Or if you were able to get them to say what they meant and mean what they say.
Level deviating from level.
Yeah, because they call the curve level. See? So they have two levels. They have the straight level, which is their tangent, and then they have their other level, which is their spherical globe.
Yeah, that's not level. And it's not marked surface level or sea level in the mathematics. It's just a line it's an arc they draw below the plane that they're measuring and say that it's the plane they're measuring is tangent to it. It doesn't make any sense.
Level deviating from level. That makes a lot of sense there, boy.
P. Finke has blocked me because I called him a pussy yesterday. Oh, he got all offended like a little bitch and suggested to Jesse that he do the same. Now, Jesse didn't block me, but he also ran away for today. It was good till last night. And then, when I started throwing the TikTok motherfucker and putting an hourglass there, telling him your time is limited, he ran away.
It's been game over for the longest time. Actually, there's been no game. It appeared like there was a game, right?
That's all it's
They
been
had
is
it
a
set
game.
up.
Yeah, and
Was that all?
Jesse plays the game very well.
Yeah, but he's playing a game that don't exist.
He's been doing it for quite some time. He's very, like he was trying to obey the rules here, but he didn't even realize that he's not really, because he has to present his claims. So he says, I was very careful about exactly what I claim, because he's a pussy and he's afraid.
Well, it takes a
I'm
lot of
still looking
skill.
for the elusive flat. Like the last thing I responded to him was when he said, I'm still trying to find the elusive flat Earth measurement. Now, he's been out here for years.
Okay. Wait a second. That's total projection. Go ahead, John. John's trying to get something in.
Go ahead, John.
Hop. Hold on 1 second.
I was just saying it takes skill to try and make an argument where none exists. Like you have to jump through some mental hoops to create the appearance of an argument. Like saying that the planar measurements that we do measure and everyone measures, they're looking for the ones for a flat Earth. Like, what? You know,
No, they're saying they're elusive. They use them, but say they're elusive. That's the funny part. Now, there's no globe, okay? So, what are you arguing about?
All right, he wrote, I'm on a quest to find this elusive flat earth measurement that everybody is using like a catchphrase, which not a single one of them can describe to me.
Like
We
miles.
all know what a measurement is. You have a tool and a method. If you need a cup of flour for a cake, you grab the tool. Oh, for Christ's sake. But everybody's saying Earth measures flat. But not one single person can tell me what tool and method to use. I've told him so many times my head hurts. How to use a laser, a mirror, a camera, go make a long distance observation,
literally any measuring tool that you use to measure with respect to the Earth is measuring a flat Earth.
Correct.
With a flat prerequisite. So at the end, was that all read out from a ball believer? He said, go and measure a long what now?
Yeah, that's
Distance.
Jesse.
Distance, you say?
Yeah,
So
that's Jesse, right?
yeah, so what's distance? Is it going to be linear and flat and perpendicular with the plane that we're going to do describing the curve from? Yeah, it will be. Yeah. All right, so we need flat measurements of distance then. Long distance photography, you say, Jesse? What a wanker.
For years now. He's presented bullshit to me. I've destroyed it right on the WWD was the last time I talked to him besides here.
Was that a
And
message?
he rage quit on me.
Was that a message he sent to you?
Yeah.
Just reply. Distance, question mark?
That's it. That's all you got to say.
Jesse? No. So I threw 1, 2, 3, 4, plus a video, an infrared video, 5, 6, 7, 8 pictures of just undeniable flatness. And
Yeah,
then
but
the Black
Hop,
Swan, the
he
boot.
came on Worldwide Debate and claimed the distance, and Nathan hung him by his freaking balls.
I heard that.
So it's just rinse and repeat.
Right. For years now. Yes.
Is it that they're incapable of hearing us? Or is it the idea
It's that
of just...
They're globe shells, man. They're shilling for the globe. That's all there is to it.
Well, I can shill for something and still hear what my opponent says and respond to it. I'm yet to hear anybody actually... The only thing I've heard is I heard one baller steel man Nathan's position and then ask him like a tard how that pertains to a flat Earth. I heard that and was shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with people.
It's more like they're a troll / shill because, like you said, when you're shilling for something, you're presenting a case that's, you can easily fool people with. They're so bad at it, it's more like trolling. They never have been able to present a case. And then this one picture that whatever posted, I was looking at it, I zoomed in, and you can see through the dark. You can see the buildings through the dark that's supposed to be covering the buildings. I was like, wait a minute. And I was looking at where this was all happening. It was over at Mick West's West site. What's that called again?
Was that the bottom of the building that was being obscured?
Yeah, you could see them in the dark. If you're seeing this, you can see right through. You can even see the bushes and shit. Weird. So did somebody dishonestly make that?
But the bottom of something has to be described. It's a vector with respect to the plane of reference, right? The bottom
Correct.
of something, its orientation. So even to describe what they think Earth's curve is obscuring, they need a plane of reference to do so.
Yes, they do. He wanted to know why this water was blocking the buildings. And it's very simple. Water moves up and down. And I threw him the Black Swan again for the fourth time. And of course, he had to go with, I'm sure many have already mentioned refraction can be much higher than normal when taking a photo. It's like, dude, you don't know what refraction is. Do you see the horizon? What you do with after how many years has this fucking Black Swan been out? 6? January, it's February, March, April, May, June. Like 6.5 years. Nobody gets it. This was my favorite argument when it came out.
Oh yeah, I got some
remember-
emotional attachment to it too, but I mean, even it as an argument, you have to malform, you have to give it to them as a malformed question, because when you talk about the distance the oil rigs are from the observer, you have to use a linear distance.
Absolutely. And you're also using a linear distance to that horizon, wherever that could be, but it's obviously behind the oil rigs. But they concentrate on those little bendy cranes. It's crazy. We call it refraction, which it's not.
Yeah, even their appeals to this not refraction, distortion in air, like, yeah, sure, we're seeing it, but when you try to describe it from your Young, I can't remember what his first name is, the guy that come up with
Andrew?
Yeah, Andrew Thomas Young. All of his measurements were done with respect to a plane of reference. Everything he did about creating that mathematics is with respect to a flat plane.
That is correct. Funny that he did that, and then you get your Glober saying you can't have a horizon on a flat Earth, and you've heard that one, and it's just projection. You can't have a horizon on a globe. Horizon, horizontal. I don't understand the way.
No, I don't like the phraseology, Hawk. You can't have a horizon on a globe. What globe? First of all, the only way you can form a horizon is from a level plane.
That's right.
That's it. A horizon requires a level plane. I don't even bring up the ball. That's the trick.
Yeah, they want you to make an argument of it not being something.
Yeah, they want you to make an argument against it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're just making statements of fact.
Yeah, where sea level appears to meet the sky. Sure, that level. That's plain. No need to bring up a sphere.
Right.
That'd be weird, but it.
Right. You just stated a statement of fact. Right?
Yes, and it's also a statement of fact that they are taught, but for some reason, when they're speaking to us, they just can't accept it.
Right, because they know as well, right?
Yeah, it's a weird compartmentalization where they take like I hate to try to describe someone else's cognition, but from what I've seen of it, it's like they take the stuff that we all know, and then they just deny it.
Yeah, like they'll describe a height of a mountain from mean sea level or sea level, whatever one it is. I don't know. Get mixed up with those two, right? And they'll deny the. I'm trying not to use it, but sometimes you got to use it. And they'll tell you that they're measuring on a sphere when they just declared that they're measuring it from sea level. So go figure.
All their tools are curved, you know that. All their levels and their plumb bobs somehow verge. I don't know. I've never seen it happen, but they got some extraordinary tools.
Well, that's the whole thing when we started joking around about tools. It's not called C point. It's not called C curve. It's called mean sea level. When we're using tools to level, it's called a level, not a curval.
Well, I was wondering, how do you know that the plumb bob is vertical if you don't have a level or a horizontal in which to measure it against?
You don't. You need it. That's the whole point. They're tied together, the vertical and the horizontal. And it's not vertical tied to a curvizontal.
Them it is exactly that. They have little sun rays. All your plumb bobs are like little sun rays coming out of a circle.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. They're describing it from inside the sphere. And
Correct.
they're doing that
That's
from the
right,
plane
in
of
the
reference.
center. That's right.
And a circle is not a sphere.
Yeah, the inside of the sphere has got the plane, and then from that plane, they're describing taking these measurements, but they're not standing in a sphere when they're measuring this, and they're not standing on a sphere to measure a plane.
No, they're measuring it from our level Earth.
Something about the plane that they're standing on.
Yeah, the Earth that the observer is standing on. I have one that says that, or it says the horizontal plane of reference that the observer is standing on. It has to be. Hop, you know the deal. You work with tools. You know what it is? I think they need to go to work. Go out and work with your hands a little bit. Take some measurements. Use some tools. Use a square. Use a level. Use a plumb bob.
I don't know, because
Yeah.
I think Jesse has used these things actually. Like, I know he has at least one theodolite. I've seen some of his stuff that he sets up, so I'm not so sure if he knows how to use it. But he's trying.
What if he's using? Go ahead.
He knows that a theodolite is measuring angles with respect to the plane of reference. I mean, he knows that, right?
Well, if he's using a theodolite, that's what a theodolite is. It's an angle measuring device.
They think they level them with a plumb bob, though.
I've seen his
There's some kind of
presentations, a couple of them, and they don't
level.
know what perspective is. That's the problem. They still refuse to acknowledge perspective.
Well, you need a flat earth perspective as well.
They'll give you that, but, you know, we'll continue to argue past it.
I'll give you a flat earth. Conspiracy cats. Now he's chasing ghosts. See, this is why measurement bothers them so much, because they can't escape it, right? It must be utilized with a flat plane of reference. It can't be any other way. So this bothers them, right? They'd much rather argue about gravity, the Coriolis effect, gas pressure, things like that.
I'd love to hear an explanation of the 1,000-mile spin, 1,000-mile-an-hour spin.
Miles, you say?
67,000-mile revolving around the sun, 438,000-mile traveling through the galaxy, and then we're all zooming through an infinite vacuum of space at 1.5 million miles an hour. It's all just skipped right past miles per hour, straight, linear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
that's the linear one that we're all shooting through. Like we're spinning, revolving, circulating through, and then getting caboodle just zooming through in a linear 1.5 million miles an hour. It's fucking amazing. Just walk past all that dog shit and then try to prove your non-existent curve. And they've been doing this for years, 11 years now. Same shit. There's nothing different.
Curve, you say? What's a curve?
Did you hear the question? Go ahead.
What was that question? Was that for me?
To describe a curve, you're going to need a horizontal baseline to even describe a curve. Because, well, what is it curving from?
Yeah,
Right?
like when we were talking about the football field, Neil. You know how it has a slope. I accidentally called it a crown, and he corrected me. I accidentally called it a ridge. He corrected me because it's actually a crown. It's sloping. But how do you calculate the slope? You start out with a level playing field. Then, I don't know, these days they might even use lasers to get it so precise, but I don't know. You have to start out with the straight, level, flat field in order to get your rise, your actual rise of 20 inches in the center.
You want to hear Jesse having his ass handed to him?
Yes.
Derivation from linear distance measured with respect to Earth's surface. That's not a debate. We would require linear distance measurements in miles to describe it from.
So are you in or are you not in?
Did you hear my response? Shall I repeat it a second time, Jesse? Are you deaf?
It wasn't really a yes or a no, Nathan.
Did you hear my answer or not?
Really? I heard the patter of little
I'll
feet.
repeat it at the risk of being interrupted immediately because you seem to have non-sequitur away from my response. Curvature would be a derivation from linear miles. Therefore, ergo, it is not a debate. We require linear flat Earth mile measurements. No debate. Second time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, he says there's no debate, so I guess he has turned down my offer for a debate.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, not surprising.
Am I talking to Omni? Just to drop this in at this point, this is me in the present saying that this is the transgender Brenda approach to debating. Whilst in the middle of a debate, suggests there is not a debate, while I'm pointing out there is no debate, he's telling me that I'm refusing to debate him. Transgender Brenda approach, that's what I'm going to call this from now on. Or Jesse.
I says you want to debate,
Am I talking to both
and
of
you
you?
says no debate.
I heard you.
He bravely ran
I heard you
away.
repeat it now, hearing Omnivore. You work it out amongst yourselves, lads, and then I'll repeat myself for the third time that you won't respond to either. Earth's measured flat with linear miles. To derive curvature, that which I have been asked to debate, we will require flat Earth linear mile measurements to describe curvature with respect to. Curvature would be a deviation from the horizontal, and if we're talking about Earth measurements, we will describe that with respect to miles. The miles measured will be flat. That is the third time I've explained why there is no debate. X3, 3 times.
Well, I think it's quite clear that unless you deny plane trigonometry, that an object that is higher than the observer should appear at an upward slope angle regardless of the distance.
Right,
right?
higher, as in a measurement from sea level in the perpendicular. We'll need a flat Earth for how high we are, Jesse. To measure our altitude is to measure how high we are with respect to sea level. A measured flat Earth average, also utilised in prerequisite, demonstrating X4. There is no debate. You require your height off a measured flat plane of reference called sea level. There's omnivore again. It seems like it's 2 against 1 when I pull Jesse's pants down and point out that his utilised altitude that is measured, I'll say that again, measured from sea level perpendicular to a plane of reference. X4, no, my bad. X5. Jesse, there is no debate. You just used a flat Earth prerequisite description of altitude. Do you understand why there is no debate, given that you've just used altitude from sea level?
There's no debate because you're afraid of the evidence.
Right. You just used altitude from sea level. There is no debate because you measured Earth flat for your altitude. Omnivore, is there any chance while I'm having this discussion with Jesse that you suggested that you shut your mic? Or are you just there as a wingman for this guy as he gets battered? He's using elevation from sea level, Omnivore. He doesn't need your interrupting me whipping his ass with his own use of flat Earth measurements when I repeat for the 6th time. Distance is linear to derive curve from. It's measured with respect to Earth's surface flat. That's what a mile is. That's 5 times. The 6th repetition being the altitude used by Jesse is a measurement of a flat Earth perpendicular to sea level. So, Jesse, how do they
Well, so the problem here is all that stuff you just mumbled out doesn't make any sense to anybody. And the fact is, I present evidence of a mountain that's, say, 6,000 feet taller than the one I'm on, appearing below eye level. I present real evidence, real videos, and all of your loyal fans have got no answer as to how what I'm seeing is possible on a flat Earth, and that slop you just spilled doesn't explain it. So we're waiting on you to explain how it's possible on a flat Earth for a mountain that's 6,000 feet higher than me to appear below me.
So it's measured. Let me know when you're done. Do you repeat it now? I'm hearing Omnivore's voice, shock and awe. Second time I'll ask Omnivore politely to shut his... Meanwhile, Jesse, the altitude of the mountain with respect to you is described and tied to a common reference of a flat Earth plane called sea level. That's the altitude of the mountain, measured with respect to sea level. That's what altitude is, perpendicular to sea level. Now, I've said that 3 times, you pathetic little bitch. If you're going to describe how high the mountain is, you can only describe its altitude with respect to your altitude from a common reference, 4th time, called sea level. Now, what you've done is insulted me and said that that's a load of drivel when I'm literally beating your own face in with your own dumb fuck use of flat Earth prerequisites measured from sea level for the... Yeah, I'll do.
This is what they do. They antagonize you, they provoke you, and like I said, no understanding of perspective whatsoever. Why does the mountain shrink?
Oh, no. Did you not hear him go, well, the mountain's 3,000 feet above...
Yeah.
Doesn't want to say above sea level because he knows he's shagged the minute he says it.
Yes.
So Jesse, yeah, we know you're a little bitch. How do they taste?
I think he needs to be at least timed out for a week. We're putting me through the
That's
same
exactly
shit
what I
over and
gave him, a
over.
week.
It's because they're in pain.
Jesse
You need
and
to,
whatever, and P.
let me just
Finky,
give you
all
a
three
quick
of
word
them.
of advice, right? They are the ones in pain, right? The reason they're doing that is to project their pain onto you. Now, you are, without doubt, capable of controlling that, because it's incumbent on you to protect yourself from people who project their pain. But if you want to engage with them, just point that out. You know, people used to get very cross with me when I'd say, yeah, share your pain. Because that's what this is. If he knew for sure and without a doubt Earth was a sphere, he would not find it necessary to try and convince you that he's right.
Yep. Well said.
I'd still be a Glober.
But let him be, is my point. Yeah. What's that? There's a difference
I
in
would
this.
still be a Glober if he could prove it. They can't.
Well, I would be if we could measure it being a ball, but we don't. We measure it flat to create a ball. That's what I go through quite frequently on all the shows currently. The ball's created with flat Earth measurements. Right,
The globe is measured flat.
Quick question: are you all going to keep chatting if I keep the recording going? Because I need milk, and I'm going to have to take one of my daughters with me. Right, I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes.
So, Hawk, they're on a week timeout. If you want me to untime them out, you let me know. But if they're just going to, that's a good point Nathan brings up, though. That's what they're doing. If they were convinced it was a sphere, they wouldn't be trying to freaking convert you. They would just be basically ignoring it.
Well, what they do is they try to provoke people. And I've noticed that everybody is just taking the bait. So when I throw down tons of evidence, and then I ask them, and then they walk over it and throw me some garbage. So I say, okay, well, you need to come into the show and present your evidence. And you notice that they all ran away this morning.
Right. He can't because he's already done it on Worldwide Debate. And I don't know if he realized what Nathan was saying. That's why he won't bring it up again. So he's explaining how he's trying to say that there's a difference in height over distance. Huh?
He's saying that something really far away is below his eye level, which means shrinking into the distance. That's what it means. It's perspective.
Yeah, but I understand that, but he's using all flat Earth. What's the word I used?
Prerequisites?
Yeah, but I found another word that I use. It's in Latin. Yeah, but prerequisites, right? And then he wants to continue on and get you to debate him about how much of a ball it is because of this.
Yeah, I don't go back and forth with him like that. I just throw down and then tell him, his time isn't near. There's other guys in here that like to do that. I don't know why. I mean, I saw him going back and forth. And finally, I just come on, man. And just threw down. And then they just ignored everything.
See, you just present the evidence and go on. See, when people are going back and forth, here's what I found out. The people that are going back and forth with them are not sure themselves that Earth is flat. That's why they'll keep going back and forth, never just laying down what it is and moving on, or just continually as they go, just say the same thing like we do, because they're not sure themselves. So they have to debate it. So if they can convince Jesse, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you're not going to convince Jesse because he's not here to be convinced. He's not here to be honest in any way, shape, or form. None of these orange guys in here are honest people. No.
Right. I understand that, but the ones that go back and forth, I see it. I see it all the
Yeah,
time.
you're talking about the
It's
flat
like,
earthers.
whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm talking about the flat earthers.
mean-
I'm not talking about you. I know you know you know what's what, but there's some
it
of them I
also
see
has
in
to
there
do with
debating the
like
same thing.
trying to. It also has to do with like a little bit of ego going on, and just not
Yeah.
understanding how he could be standing there as Glober keeps coming back with nonsense as he's telling him what's up. Yeah, and so the ego kicks in, and you don't want to just let it go. Now, me, I don't care what they think. Once I throw the picks down and they can't do anything about them, then they're done. It doesn't take more than a good Jay Tolan infrared vid to just shut them the fuck up. Of course, they'll nitpick. Like this guy, whatever, he went in, I think, and he made a little clip because he found something that looked like a curve that was God only knows how far away. Because we're dealing with infrared.
Oh, Guns.
Oh,
Guns and Navarone is in the house. What are you doing, Guns?
Just listening to you guys. Quite entertaining, might say. Hello.
How you
you?
like my Knickerbockers? Down by 29.
Well,
See, let me tell
1970,
you,
baby.
let me tell you what happened.
1970, right? Yeah,
Let me tell you what
1970 was the last time. Awesome, Nickies. Go Knicks.
Let me tell you what happened. Like I go back and forth with my cousin Kamenuch on the phone, and after Towns fouled out twice, when he got those two quick fouls, and we were down by freaking 15 immediately, my cousin says, "Cuz, I shut it off. I see the way it's going." I said, "I'm not shutting it off." I said, "What's going to happen is I know this Knick team. I don't care how far down they get. They're going to keep fighting." And my youngest son sat here with me, just me and him. And man, when they started pulling that freaking comeback, I knew they were going to get tight and I knew they were going to be tired. And that was just something to freaking see. And that French guy, that Wembayana, he's a dirty freaking player, boy.
Well, the tall guy. He's like over 7 feet, right?
First of all, he doesn't stand for the national anthem. I stand. Even in my house, when Canada and America are playing against each other, they do both anthems. I stand for both of them.
Totally.
He stands there with his arms folded, and he won't stand for the national anthem. But he's okay playing ball here, making millions of dollars, right?
Exactly. There's so many immigrants playing in the league now.
Well, what do you think about this cup? You think it's Carolina's? I think Vegas is going to win the next game. They're going to force a game 7.
Yeah, me too. They might even win it in 7. They have a lot of injuries right now, eh?
Yeah, Carlson just got hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. Looked like he popped his shoulder out or something. Yeah. 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 I think they'll come back. Stone looks banged up.
Well, so we get it back on.
Playing good though. Hey.
Yeah. So we get it back on flat Earth. Let's talk about ice itself.
Oh yeah.
And the rink, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you play, say the Bolivian salt flats, right? If you ice that over, you could have a great hockey game on that. You could have a bunch of hockey games on that.
Yeah. Well, any lake here in Saskatchewan, we have lakes that are 5 miles long. You could, skate on those too. I have skated on many lakes in Saskatchewan here.
And
it's
they're all
fun
flat.
because there's no boundaries. Yeah, you don't have any boundary, right? You just can go on and on and on. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I know some guys that I know some guys that wait for a certain time in the winter where they could drive over the freaking frozen lake into America.
Yeah, you can get away with it. Yeah, there's no border patrol. It's harder now with drones. They have drones and all that stuff. They're always up in the air, so pretty tough to get across. They might as well just get rid of the border. Like we're the same country, basically.
Yeah, it should just be one. Just make it one big country.
Yeah, I agree because then there wouldn't be
It'll
any
benefit
fighting or
Canada.
anything. What's that?
It'll benefit Canada.
Oh, 100%. And plus, yeah, exactly. And the defense, like we got the North, you guys have Alaska, and you guys have the South protection, right? For defense.
Yeah, it's very
And then
hard
get
for America
Greenland.
to get invaded.
Yeah, and if you get Greenland, look out. But I don't follow politics too much. It's getting out of hand.
I don't either. I follow
Much going on.
geography, but what's that game? Remember that board game that is it called Risk, where it's the world domination game, where you got to get
Yeah.
all the freaking yeah.
Yep, Risk.
I mean,
Risk, yeah.
that's a good game,
That's
man.
another. That's a long game. Yeah, it's a long one. Yeah. It could be longer than Monopoly sometimes. Yeah.
We used to play that in the 70s, man, when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
earlier. You get the boards out on the porch, man, and go at it all day long into the night.
Yeah. How old are you there? I'm 66. I just turned 66.
I just
In
turned
May.
66 on April 13th.
Oh my God,
right
you guys!
on.
Wait, that's a lot of sixes here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops. There's 4 though, not 3.
My wife's. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm 61, so
Hey, we saw
I'm
the-
junior.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah, Steve
Neil,
Vai, right?
we saw the fake new moon landings live. We saw them live, the fake ones. Yeah.
Okay, I was 4 years old.
Right?
Vai.
Neil?
Yeah.
What?
Neil, you
Hold
know
on,
who
one at a
Steve Vai
time.
is?
Say again?
Neil, do you know who Steve Vai is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
He just turned 66 on 6/6/26.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's definitely the
No,
Antichrist.
he was the
I'm,
Devil's
hey-
guitar player in Crossroads against
Yeah.
Ralphie Macchio.
That's correct.
remember?
Ralph Macchio
Oh.
played. He won by playing classical at the end, right?
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, of course, that wasn't him. That was Steve Vai and a couple other guys. What the hell is that guy's name that played that last one? Oh, geez. Cooter? Roy Cooter? Something like that.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Ralph just faked it. You know, he didn't play anything.
No, he's not a musician.
No.
I
Faked it.
miss good music. I miss it.
Yeah,
big
it's all
time.
gone now, man.
This shit. Total shit now.
There's actually some
so-
really good players out there, but they're not real well heard, like Matteo.
Oh, you mean like garage
Mancuso,
bands? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Club
those
players.
players.
Yeah. Like rock, hard rock.
Oh, there's players out there that are just destroying the guitar now. Like
Yeah.
Steve Vai goes, "Oh, geez, what the fuck?" And there's this guy called Matteo Mancuso.
Oh, yeah. Check out
He's,
some AI videos. Boy, they sure can come up with some good music.
I don't like AI.
Either do I.
Everything's
But they
AI.
come up with a rock and roll. Yeah, you check it out.
I like live people doing stuff. I can't stand AI.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Everything on YouTube is turning into AI. Everything.
Well, you can't get away with those ads, eh? The AI ads.
Yeah, well, I can.
Oh, do you have
Just ignore
premium? Oh, yeah, well, of course. But yeah, I guess you're right. You can skip them after a couple
Yes.
seconds. You're right. Yeah. They're annoying though, aren't they?
Yeah, and I put a lot of times I'll just say, man, that's it. I just officially am done with AI. I'll write it on their video. Because
Yeah.
even if it's like a person making the video, they're using AI to present it. It's like, dude, use
Yeah.
your own voice. Get rid of the AI. Stop hiding
Yeah.
behind this bullshit.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I type in YouTube. I just say,
Sorry.
Yeah, I just say I type into YouTube. Why do you allow fraudulent AI commercials? Like they're all fraudulent. Like how do you get away with that?
It's YouTube.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
What
you're right.
what they do is they take the image and somehow they get away from everything. They get away from any copyright violations and all that.
Yeah. I figured that one. Yeah.
It's bad. Not a good thing. And it's
Have you seen
real.
the one? Where, hey, have you seen the AI shorts where they have the movies like Conan and Dances with Wolves, and then they have a happy ending? Like it's AI and it looks so real. Like they got Kevin Costner and all that, and they got Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's really cool, and they all band together. Braveheart, Conan, whatever, 300, and all of them, and they're all together, and they go to Rome, and they're sitting having coffee, and they're all.
They go to Rome. Isn't that interesting? They go to Rome.
Yeah, they go to Rome, exactly. The Vatican, mafia.
It's like the UN. People look at that UN emblem, right? And they're going, oh my God, right there in front of your face, the flat earth. It's like, no, you retard. That's their rendition of the earth. What you need to look at is what's wrapped around that fucking thing. And it's called the Roman laurel. And it shows you that Rome rules the earth. That's what it's telling you. And that Roman laurel comes from Apollo. So back in the day, Apollo was going after her name, some little Taurus nymph or whatever, and she was eluding him, and she turned into a laurel tree, right? So Apollo, now you know who Apollo is. He's the god of the sun. So anyway, he declares and takes the laurel leaves and wears them as a headdress. And that's how Rome took that headdress. That's how the Caesars declared that as their headdress, because of Apollo. So you see, Rome and the sun, Rome and the heliocentric god rule the earth. It tells you right there on the UN emblem. That's what it tells you.
Interesting fact about laurels: when you prune them, the plant's self-defense mechanism that releases arsenic that smells like amaretto or marzipan.
Really, I did not know that. I know that's a bay leaf. I did not know that. We use bay leaves for seasoning. You don't eat them, but you put them on the food. Never heard that one you just said.
But yeah, I understand why you don't like AI, but if you by any chance cause Nicktoons descent into madness.
Yeah, your mic is really bad, and I barely heard what you were saying.
Can you hear me now, Miss?
I can hear you, but when you start talking, the way your mic is, your words get ununderstandable. Your mic.
I'll try one more time. But yeah, I know you don't like AI, but have you seen Nicktoons descent into madness?
Well, I get the part where I know you don't like AI, but yeah,
what's going on here?
No worries, man.
Always write it in the chat, head text or something.
Here. Oh, there, I got you back. There you are. Yeah, well, with that AI mode on Google there, I just typed in my name, right? And it said I died in a car accident in 2000. Actually, it was my wife that died in 2000 in a car accident I had, but they have me as dead. So I had to straighten that whole thing out. So they said there was probably a rumor going around that I was dead. That's why people thought I was dead because of AI. Craziness.
Wow.
Absolutely insane. It says his life was cut short when he turned 40, killed tragically in a car accident. So I had to straighten it out and put my wife's name in there. God rest her soul. Et cetera, et cetera. And I straightened it all. Oh, thank you for correcting me. Oh, blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on and on. So now it's in there, in the archive. Like, it's good. Piss me off. Where do they get this information from?
Everything you do, everywhere you go, there's face recognition everywhere. And
Oh,
with
yeah,
these
I know.
new wonderful data centers, oh my. Not only are they destroying the earth with these things, and like Steve says, there should be never a water shortage, but when there's local water that they're destroying, then that becomes local shortage. If you're not understanding, and even it's illegal to drill a well, without some kind of a permit and whatever, you got to go through jumping hoops. You can literally start digging a hole with a shovel.
Yeah.
Eventually hit water.
Well, literally, there's enough fresh water in Canada and the States to service the world 100 million times over. Crazy.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yep. Because there's tons of water everywhere. They just keep killing it, destroying it, and polluting it, and evaporating it into the freaking air.
Not to be conspiratorial, but do you think those fires in California were deliberately set or no?
I haven't looked at them, but I could probably say they probably were.
Like people are saying they saw blue beam, like beams or something. I don't know personally, but
yeah, you
I
got to
wouldn't doubt
watch
it.
a lot of people with because a lot of times they'll just overheat electrical services.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
other
Like,
words,
and there's really dry. Like it was really dry, eh?
Yeah, and if they surge the electrical system, then you're getting more electricity than your shit can handle. And a lot of times I saw these outside things blow up. Like their boxes and their air conditioning units that are sitting out there all of a sudden blow up. Well, that's a sign of a surge.
Yeah. Well, in New York City, there, Neil should know about that. The sky turned blue there at night one time. Some transformers blew up or something. And the whole sky turned blue. Strikes. People thought, people thought it was blue beam or whatever.
The sky is always blue, right? That's a weird video that I saw from a guy called Matrix Decoder I used to hang around. And he had a slow motion camera running during a thunderstorm. And when one of the lightning flashes went through the sky, it looked like daytime. It was just completely blue like it would be in the daytime.
Yeah, another mystery. Hi, Nathan. Cheers, man. Long time no hear. Maybe did I lose you guys or no?
No, I got up and walked away, and now I've gone back and picked up my radio mic now. Yeah, long time no see. Good to have you.
Yeah. Cheers. Yep. Good to be here. Finally. It seems like it's pretty well a closed deal now, eh? Like it's not even a debate, like you said. It's a closed deal. All we have is trolls and shills. That's all we have now.
Take it you've caught up on all the videos now then.
Oh, I was watching your shorts. Man, you had me rolling on the floor. Those shorts that you edited perfectly. And I said, even a 6-year-old can understand, can relate, except for these Nimrods. Oh my God. They're like trolls and shills. They don't even care. But yeah, I love your shorts, man.
Wasn't Nimrod a Greek god?
Pardon me?
Oh. Wasn't Nimrod a Greek god?
Yeah.
Nimrod was the mighty hunter who called on God and called out God.
No, this guy had 14-inch rod. Remember? Nimrod. Yeah, there's a lot of Greek gods out there. Yep, that's right.
No, he's not Greek.
Yeah.
Harp's right. Nimrod's most commonly known as the biblical figure of the Book of Genesis, a famous hunter.
Oh, right.
founded
He was in the Bible.
Mesopotamian
Neil,
kingdoms
Yes,
still
that's
there?
of
correct.
Babel.
Hey, Neil, are you there? Oh, you stepped away, I guess. Yeah, that's in the Bible. You're right. Hard to believe. I was an altar boy for 4 years at a Roman Catholic church, and I don't even remember that.
That's a Jimmy Carr
What else
joke.
don't you remember?
Jimmy Carr was
Father
like,
Hogan. Hey, no, our priest was a Catholic priest, right from Ireland, eh? Father Hogan. He was a wino, though. He wasn't a pedophile. He was a wino. He used to drink before, during, and after the Mass. He'd get us fetching bottles of wine before Mass, like in the back room, the big, the rectory or whatever. Hey, lad, go get me a bottle of red there and sucking on that. And then
can I tell my
during
Jimmy
the
Carr
Mass,
joke? It's just relevant. So Jimmy Carr says he hated being a Catholic altar boy, all that standing up, sitting down, kneeling. He says he wished the priest would just pick a position and fuck him.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, but this guy, he was a nice guy though. He wasn't a pedo, you know, which is a good thing, I guess. But he was an alcoholic. Yeah, what's worse? He'd be so hammered during the service. Like we used to do 1, 2, 3, 4 services during the day, like 3 in the daytime in the morning, and then 1 in the evening. He was so pissed he could barely stand up, and he's like trying to talk Latin, during the sermon or whatever. Just like, oh my God, help this guy out. And he had that thick Irish accent, worse than what's his face, Brian. Oh, lad. Whatever you go fetch me a bottle of wine, you laddie. Give me some potatoes while you at it. It's craziness.
That was a terrible Irish accent, but I get the gist.
Absolutely, yeah. Anyway, you guys carry on. That's nonsense. Anyway, your shorts, I just love them, Nathan. Edited to perfection.
Thank you very much.
And
They
just
take a
long
lot of
enough.
time.
And
I'm
just
glad
long enough to
you
get the
appreciate it.
point. Exactly. Absolutely. Sorry, I don't have my teeth in. I'm trying to speak fluently, but I get in trouble.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. I sound like Sylvester the cat.
Chaperone Succotash.
Chaperone Succotash. The shell, she's a shell, the she shall. Oh, here, I can do John. The refraction. Yeah, that's perpendicular to the plumb line. Yeah.
Very good.
The other John's got a low voice too. Orgyle. They sound alike.
Yeah, he's having a rough time of it. Do you keep up with Morgile?
Yeah. Hey, have you talked to Dubé lately or no?
No, I don't think I've ever spoken to Dubé ever. Like, let alone more recently. I've never actually had a conversation with him ever.
Seriously, I thought he's mentioned your name quite a bit, like in videos. But yeah, okay. Yeah, he's got a mutual respect. Like he's got a respect for you. He's still on the ball. He's still on that arguing about the ball thing, anti-ball. Otherwise, he's pretty good.
Yeah, there's plenty of overlap though. I was mentioning him the other day because he was one of the first to point out that the slope in railway construction is with respect to a plane and over a given distance over any country's area. You can't have the topographical deviations be beyond a certain limit, or the train can't go up that hill. It's just that simple. So you have to account for it to the millimeter accuracy, and he was the first person that I ever heard pointing that out in the way that it did. It just hits a little different these days, but the point's still the same though, and he was the first to get to that point, like long before I did. On the other hand, back in the day, he used to be calling everybody shills, and with enough time, he was proven correct about all of them. Many of which I defended in the moment, and would probably stand corrected now if I was to ever have a discussion with him about it. It's like, you know, those sorts of things tend to need time to ferment. Like, to prove him correct needed enough time to elapse to show that all of the people he claimed were shills changed their position and went back to the ball, or, you know, screwed over flurfs or whatever. You know, they all did something slightly underhanded. Now, does that mean that they're all government paid agents? Probably not. But to the point that they eventually braced against the common interests of a flurf, if you want to call it in that manner, then he was right about all of them.
Yes, he was. And so was I.
You got there 2 weeks earlier, didn't you?
Oh, I was telling you in 2020 about these fuckers.
Of course.
Yep. I had no idea, you know, what was coming with the TFE thing. That just was like, oh my God, really? So almost 10 years to the day, they're going to do this. I knew exactly what was coming. And then when Jaron started pulling that Home Depot bullshit and calling everybody a Venus, you know, a flat Earth not including sun, because he was including the sun with his AE map, you know, and if the AE map doesn't work, and back to the globe. Oh my God. It was never a flat earther.
Yeah, it never worked.
None of them were.
The map never worked to begin with. It was debunked 10 years ago. He was there. So it all seems very shilly, doesn't it?
Yeah, very shilly. Somehow Mark Sargent remains the father of the flat earth.
And I'll be its mother.
I don't know. I guess she's good. I remember when she said, oh, Mark, now you're in the FES. Now you're a Flat Earth Society. What's next? He was denying it. And we made video, like a whole bunch of people made videos like, dude, you're a liar. You're a Flat Earth Society. You literally admitted this in the beginning, like your first video.
He said international, didn't he? Didn't he change the name a bit?
International Flat Earth Society, whatever he did, yeah.
No,
yeah.
That was
No.
That was a red flag.
No. That's
no. Let me just square that away. IFAS is Dubai's, whereas Mark said he joined the Flat Earth Society. Just let me get it out. Mark Sargent said he'd joined the Flat Earth Society. IFAS is Dubai's website, the International Flat Earth Research Society. That's Dubai. But Mark explicitly stated that he joined the Flat Earth Society and was a card-carrying member. He even showed his card.
Correct.
You're talking about Dubai, right?
No, Mark Sargent.
Talking about Mark Sargent.
Oh, well, yeah, well, he's good, you know. Like, he was really good, but he's a disinformation guy, eh? But he has a lot of good information. Like, let's face it. He's pretty good.
What?
He's a retard.
No, but the only thing is he'll throw in something like, you know, Earth is like a dark city. It could be spinning on a machine.
Tell me
Like on a
what
huge
good
machine.
information he's got. He chases married women around. He's a womanizer.
God,
We got the scoop on him.
Oh, yeah.
So what?
Yeah, Casanova, eh?
He came out and he said we're like in a big warehouse. We're in a machine.
That's right.
It's like
I remember.
The Truman Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically,
Oh,
we are. I mean, we're in God's terrarium.
Well, we are under something. You know, in the Bible it says so. So, you know, that I believe that we're in a contained system, obviously.
Under pressure.
Under, you say?
Under pressure. Dum.
Oh, I'm sorry. Inside? I don't know. See, I missed so many shows. I'm getting mixed up with directions and up and down and north and south. What are you guys calling it these days?
Inside, you say?
False direction fallacy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Like, I really don't know. I can't. When somebody asks for directions, I go, well, you go up there and then you go Well, south about 60 miles, or but I've missed so many shows that you guys have it down pat. You have certain terminology.
When you're talking about direction in the map, I do the same thing. North is up, south is down.
Yeah, but Hop, in the States, they consider if you live in New York City and you're going upstate, you're going up north. That's what they say.
That's right.
It's the words.
It's woven into the language so that when
Does it sway that way on the map?
Well, yeah, it might be. You hold a map generally orientated towards north.
The indoctrination, yeah.
Might be that you hold a map generally orientated towards north, but north and up are completely different conventions. Azimuth and direction are horizontal.
Absolutely.
Up is vertical, perpendicular to sea level if you're describing something's altitude. So they're incompatible with one another. But colloquially, we will say things like up north. But that doesn't mean that north is capable of description in a vertical orientation. It isn't. It's horizontal. Azimuth is horizontal.
Horizontal, yeah, exactly. Yeah, up would be going to the moon. That's going up.
It's like Nathan said, it's woven into the language.
Well, yeah, it's programming, right?
South.
Right from birth. Exactly.
I think these things naturally, I don't think they're intentionally woven in by some nefarious power. It's just when you're raised in a system that teaches you how up is with respect to a ball, the natural progression of linguistic descriptions of things will incorporate it of their own volition. You don't have to have somebody incorporate them. It's sort of self-perpetuating.
Exactly. Yeah. Like China's on the other side of us, they used to say, right? You go through the earth, right? China's on the other side or something.
Yeah, if you're saying that China's down, then you're convoluting a southward direction, which is horizontal, with an antipodal direction on a ball by a linguistic description of south being down, which it isn't.
Yeah.
Be careful how you guys describe up and down and south and north, because Wayne, the map company guy, is going to get offended.
I might end up with another copyright strike.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. Hey, have you guys heard from what's his face? The minister, or what is it? What was that guy's name?
Tony,
the priest,
Ian,
or
Fred,
minister?
Jeremy, Jamie, Simon, Peter.
The South Pole guy. What was his name?
Puffy.
Oh yeah, Puffy, yeah.
Puff
Any word on him lately? Like I haven't heard of him or anybody.
He's gone.
What about
did what he did and left.
I think we might see him again in probably 3 to 5 years.
Ginger
maybe.
around? Oh, sorry about that.
I asked 15 questions without waiting and fucking listening to the end.
No, I'm sorry. Like I really, really seriously having a bad connection here. Go ahead.
Hopefully we'll see him again in 3 to 5.
Okay, what about Ginger? What's his name with the beard? What was his name?
What's it?
Yeah, is he around?
Ginger with the beard.
You heard the shit that went on last night between him and Kai? Oh my God.
Yeah, he's part of a drama right now.
Get out of the scene.
Yeah, he's part of it. You know what's sad? It's like he's involved in this drama with his ex-wife. But it seems like McToon and his army are really interested in this rather than Flat Earth. They're sitting there beating up on a man who has an issue with his ex-wife and his kids. That's what they're feeding off.
Ex-wife? I didn't know he had a wife or that he's got a now ex-wife. When did this happen?
They're separated now. She got a divorce. Yeah.
Before the South thing.
Before going to Antarctica, he got divorced.
Well, it's after that, yeah.
After Antarctica.
Was
so in
Jared's divorced, wasn't he?
In the last 18 months
divorced?
then.
Yeah, it started happening probably while he was down wherever in Antarctica. When he came back, his shit hit the fan. And, they've been at it ever since. He fucked up. He went to Antarctica. I would have told him, don't do it because you're going to come back and all fucking hell is going to break loose and you're going to be the bunt. And that's exactly what happened.
Patsy. Yeah, the laughing stock. Patsy.
Yeah, but how did that
Well,
affect?
what's sad is that, like, I feel kind of bad for Whitsitt, even though he's guilty of somewhat, is because McToon and his army, they like dogpile on him. He doesn't really, he doesn't really say anything. He just defends himself, right? And this is why, like, McToon would never debate Oakley, because I've offered that to him many times, and he will never do it, is because the way he was talking to Whitsitt, he will never be able to talk like that to Nathan.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like that, because he knows if he talks shit to Nathan and his family, Nathan will put him in his place. But
Well, I think Jaron bamboozled him because Jaron had already sold out, and Whitsitt was just on the teeter-totter, and I think that caused the whole thing, is because Whitsitt was unaware that Jaron was full-fledged shill, so he got all tangled up in all that, and he didn't even realize it until it was too late.
What's that got to do with his wife? How did that affect his marriage? I don't really understand.
Nothing.
no, so Nathan, I don't know if you know, what's happening is basically his wife is going around to all these people that hate Whitsitt, and she's giving them content about like video clips, all this drama that's not necessary, right? With all these guys. And then McToon, Iceman, and all these guys are using his wife to basically beat him up on it, which is fucked up. Because it involves his kids and all that. But this is what these Globers are. They're like flat Earth. They move on from it and take it personally, right? This is the problem.
Well, they've been doing that to Nathan for years, about his children and wife and stuff. They've been doing that to Nathan for years.
Yeah, that's why this is a globe tactic. I'm convinced it is. Watching these guys like Ice Spin and all Icy Spin and all these guys, man, they do the same shit.
Well, shilling and trolling. Yeah, exactly.
Well, they've got to find cope somehow, right? They need to distribute their pain to others, so that's how they do it.
Yeah, and Whitsitt has become the punching bag. If he was smart, he'd get the fuck away from it. But his wife keeps bringing it back in, and he comes in to try and defend himself, which is retarded.
So
Just let her say what the fuck she wants to say.
Is triangulating opposition from ball believers against Whitsitt. Am I hearing this correct?
Yeah, they're basically dogpiling on him for his relationship now, not about his flat Earth views or anything like that.
Well, what about it? You say his relationship, right? If his marriage has just fallen apart, then that happens, right, to like 50% of marriages. So no big deal. Who cares? People move on. But it sounds like his wife's going around bad-mouthing him to ballers. That's bizarre.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
It doesn't help that he's been arrested 5 times as well for it, so they're using that against him.
For what?
So,
according to her, 13.
For what?
She's basically, she calls the cops, and like she said he hit her, and he's been arrested like 5 times.
So she's claiming
those times were while he was on tour.
Hold on, I'm just trying to make this
those times while he was on tour.
So
they weren't really arrests.
They weren't.
How it is in
they
the
let
UK.
him go each time.
Yeah, I don't know how it is in the UK, but in America, if a woman calls the cops and says my husband beat me up, they don't even ask questions. They come arresting the husband first, and then they take him in, and then they question him after. And also, yeah, so it's like, it's very bad.
Okay. And do you know that was true or not true?
We don't know for a fact.
Well, I don't know the details, but Whitsitt himself confirmed, because they asked him how many times you've been arrested. He said 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
He said 3 of those times were when he was on tour, and they weren't really arrests because they let him go each time.
They're just allegations. Allegations.
And no offense to Whitsitt and his relationship with his wife, but if my wife put me in a position to be arrested once, I think that would be the end of the relationship. You know what I mean?
I think so.
He's got 2 little girls, just like you got 2 little girls. And now, when the woman starts playing, and I've had this done personally to me, he uses the children as leverage, and she gets him to do stuff. And then when he does it, all of a sudden she'll cancel. And I've gone through the exact same shit with the crazy bitch, my first son's mom. And then all of a sudden she'd cry on like command. and just everybody be, oh, look at how violent this, like I never touched her ever in my fucking life. Poured a pitcher of water over her head one time because she was a fucking cunt. That's as far as I ever went.
Well, the funny part is, like, when you listen to some of these people who try to give them advice, it's like you're in no position to give anybody advice, let alone, like Wit said, right? Like, this one guy, 62-year-old white male, is in Thailand. It's like he's giving him relationship advice. Like, are you married, but do you have any kids? He goes, no, well, I moved here, but I'm dating like a lady boy. It's like, okay, out of all people,
Oh
you're
my
giving
God.
advice. Like, it's crazy to me.
I moved here and I'm dating a lady boy. What the freaking hell? What kind of community are we in, man?
Oh my God, lady boys with 12-inch cocks. Oh
I
my
know,
God.
let's not take this any
guy's
further
like in
than it already
Florida.
needs to go. Come on,
He's
bloody
from
hellfire.
Florida, and then he's moved to Thailand, and he's like 60 years old. White guy. It's like, fuck.
Wow.
Eric DeBay lived in Thailand for quite some time.
Yeah, he had to come back for some reason. He was kind of forced to move back for some reason.
Yeah, because the general,
His girlfriend's white.
His girlfriend was Thai, and her dad was like a general, army
Right.
general.
Yeah.
So there was friction.
That's why a lot of people thought he was a shill, because his girlfriend, you know,
Yes.
he's, you know,
Yeah, they say whatever they can. But in the meantime, he was pointing out the actual shills.
yeah,
Weird how
yeah,
it
he
all works
did.
out, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah, exactly. He was right though. You know, I really miss his Math Powerland. He was the best.
Yeah, I like Math Powerland. He was my gateway into the subject.
But then he got all involved with John Morgile, and remember all that stuff about the gay stuff because he was in a porn. He was in a porn or something. A Canadian porn.
No, he wasn't.
It was MTV.
Total bollocks. MTV bit where he was as an actor kissing another guy in character.
Yeah.
Very different
Did you
to
get
gay porn.
I put down his crotch by another guy.
Yeah. That's acting. That's what it's called, acting.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, you're right, Nathan. You should know all about that.
What, gay
Know
porn
exactly
or
how
acting?
they operate. Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
What the fuck
I know
are you
exactly.
implying to?
Look, I know my gay porn, okay?
Soft porn. Remember that. Soft.
No, it was just an MTV bit. It was a televised drama, and he was in it, and he played a gay character. So what?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, but I
what the
remember.
movie was calling Red Badge or something. I forget.
I think John was a little bit homophobic. I think the Morgul at one point.
Oh, what's his name? Jeff Stewart started all that shit. He instigated between
Jeff Stewart, the
Matt
shit
Farrell
stirrer. I remember Jeff Stewart. He also pretended he knew who Tim Osman was.
Yeah, yeah.
He used to give you links and hack your computer.
Yeah, he was a
Jeff Stewart.
complete bullshitter.
Yeah, and he hacked your computer. He would say, "Here, look at this link," and I never opened a single link because I was warned.
Well, what about Matt Palad's wife? Ex-husband was FBI or something?
I don't know about that one.
Or
That's a new one
CIA?
on me.
I remember that one? Oh my God, what kind of soap opera is this?
He's in a shambles right now, man, because that all fell apart too. And so his son Atlas taken away.
His married son?
He was.
Oh yeah, for a while.
I didn't know that. Oh.
The Mark being a bit of a womanizer makes a bit more sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, he's displaying his fat hammer in that painting.
Sorry, his what? Fat hammer? Is that what you call man's
His fat
penises?
hammer. His fat hammer. His penis. Remember?
No.
In the painting with his wife. Yeah.
Oh, Matt in his mural or whatever you call it.
Yeah, he had a huge hammer, like a fat one.
I don't remember looking at his penis in his portrait. Sorry.
His wife is in there too, pregnant.
Yeah, I was too busy looking at that.
That was so funny. I remember laughing my head off. Oh my God.
He blatantly got away with nudity on the platform by being an artist, so he could depict his
Absolutely.
his muses as he was painting them fully naked.
Yeah,
Like, how's he getting away with this? Well,
exactly.
it's art.
It's art, yeah. Like his wife was naked too, I think, in there. She was pregnant, and she was bronze. I think he painted her bronze,
Yeah, he
but
did,
she was
yeah.
naked.
Yeah, he painted the bronze, correct. Like with
It was
bronze,
beautiful.
like literally painted her in bronze paint. That's what.
Bronze.
Just so we're not
Yeah.
confused what he means. I'm not saying painted her on canvas in bronze paint. Painted her.
Literally. Well, he used to paint girls anyway, didn't he? In his artwork?
Yes.
Well, his backstory is that he was commissioned to paint photorealistic images for NASA. That's his backstory.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
That was
yeah.
a lie. That was a lie.
Really?
Yes, really, that was a lie. Him and his girlfriend at the time conspired. She made up the story, said, hey, why don't you do this and then you'll get more recognition. So he called his channel the NASA channel, which he later on had to dissolve because NASA went after him. And they dissolved that channel because he was a
Yeah, I
fucking
remember.
liar.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember. I was wondering how he had the channel named NASA, like how he got away with that at first.
Yeah, until, they looked into him. Yeah, I got a video, on Matt Farrelland where he admits that they made up the story. And he talks about him and his girlfriend and when they did it.
And then let's have a look.
I'm not sure if he actually.
I also found a video the other day, Nathan, one of your first ones was with Matt Farrelland.
Really?
Me interviewing Matt Farrelland?
Yep. That was in 2014?
Something like that.
No, 16 or 18.
Nah, it wasn't as late in the day as that.
It was one of your, I can find it right away. What?
Flat Earth debate. No, Flat Earth UK 5 with Matt Farrelland.
That sounds about exactly right.
His floor art, and he did a bottom of a swimming pool. Really good, fantastic. Like his floors, those floors he did, those are really nice
the
looking.
resin paint.
The resin paint, yeah. He made some nice work there. Except there was the one he did, and then they canceled it. They didn't like it. They forced him to strip everything down. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, he did this beautiful, like it was like a hall, quite big. He did it beautiful on the floor and all this stuff, and then they forced him to get rid of it for some reason. I forget the reason. Do you remember that? Anyone there? No.
No, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, he did a bunch of shows, bunch of his videos from that spot, and it looked like there's a bar and everything. There's a big, huge space. And he did he did whatever you call that. What do you call that painting again? Shellacking or whatever. What do you call that? Other fellow, what's his name? You call it like shellacking the floor kind of thing, but it's a painting. Anyway, he had to strip it all. They made him, for some reason, they didn't like it or something, and they didn't want to pay him, so he just ripped everything out, wrecked everything, like he got rid of it. You don't remember that, eh?
Nah.
Yeah, it was a big thing. He made a big thing about that quite a while ago. But he did about like 10 shows from there because he was doing the work, right? He was there all the time. And yeah.
I do vaguely remember him decorating a bar with a mop and resin paint and dragging it around in circles and overlapping it. And I do remember him doing several shows from what you describe as a bar. Yes, I do remember him. I don't recall the end of that particular event being him ripping it out, though.
I never saw him have to do that at all. I'm pretty sure everybody was always pleased with his work. I just posted that video.
So,
Flat Earth UK 6.
Is it 6, not 5?
Yeah, yep, 6. Focus on Antarctica. That's funny. And the thumbnail is one of his floors.
Yep.
Yeah, he did some crazy shit with them floors, man. Tell you. I don't understand why he didn't make lots of money with that.
Maybe he did.
I mean, he's in a shambles right now. Like he's just a broken, almost lost his mind. Terrible. I mean, you can just look him up, go on YouTube, and go see what he's been doing. He's just nuts. He's lost it.
I lost you guys. Yeah, the time he got hit by a car on his bike, and he's saying they're trying to kill him. Oh, I lost you guys.
No, we're still here. Just no one's talking.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, but do you
I'm just
remember that?
finding
When
all
you...
these things that I'm talking about. I'm posting them in the Fed text. I posted the one Nathan Oakley video, then I posted one of Matt's channels.
Was there a number on that one video, or was that just a video
there's a
of
number.
Nathan?
Like I said, they're posted in the Fed text.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's Flat Earth UK, the show that preceded this Flat Earth debate.
Ah,
Flat Earth
yes.
debate
Okay,
was...
yes. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate that. Thank you. I remember your old shows. You'd be sitting on a couch with nothing in the background, just sitting there. There's no furniture. Like your earlier shows. Remember when you talked to Trisha and all that? Like you'd be UK. I think it was Flat Earth UK, but you'd be sitting on a couch.
Yes.
And then, yeah, that was I. Do you still have those videos?
Yeah, they're still up on my channel.
Okay, I'll check it out because I remember how polite you were back then. Holy smokes!
What are you trying to say?
Remember? I said you're really polite. Remember, you used to say, "Huh." "Oh, you get a little hardened, eh, when you're dealing with assholes all the time for 10 years."
Yeah.
Like, but I remember how polite you were to Patricia. Remember, and Mark Sargent, those earlier interviews, but 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Oh, yes, that's quite. Oh, yeah, fair. You're right. Exactly. And how long have you been doing this? You know, now it's what the fuck are you doing? You slap you around. Teabag you. Oh, teabag you. Yeah. Actually, no, the progression was great. Oh, you rock and roll. You guys rock and roll, I tell you, especially Nathan. Rock and roll. Yeah, you've put up with a lot of bullshit, that's for sure. So I admire that. Like you've got good, determination, and well, you're articulate. No teeth in my mouth, but you're very articulate. Everyone might agree that you're probably the most articulate person on YouTube. Like, I mean, the quickest thinker. You know what I mean? Articulate and to the fact. Yeah, and you can rebuttal anything and just drive them crazy. You know.
You're confusing articulate with handsome.
Yeah, in a Mr. Clean kind of way. Yeah, exactly. Very, very, yeah. Yep, you are a handsome dude. You know,
I agree.
For your age, you're pretty good. How old are you? 40?
Oh, yeah, I like you.
You're 40, aren't you? Or how old are
I'm
you?
46 almost.
Yeah, okay, but you look about 40. That's pretty good, yeah. When you had hair, you were quite a handsome dude too.
Thanks.
Those old pictures, like the one where you're up in the top of the tower there in Tokyo or whatever. Pretty handsome dude there.
Oh, Taipei Tower.
Yeah, the Taipei Tower. That was you. Yeah, you're quite young then, but you had a lot of hair.
Yes.
Absolutely, just debonair. James Bond. Bond. Oh, excuse me. I'm trying to vape here and I get in a hot spot. Oh, God. Quit smoking about 8 years ago and I've been vaping. It's just like insanity. Is everybody oh, you guys are all there, eh? Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, is Dank. I've never heard Dank talk. Hi, Dank. Can you say something?
Hello.
Hello, Dank. I've never heard you speak. But maybe you're speaking. I just didn't really. Yeah. Hello. How about Fisherman in the Box? Fisherman in the Box. Are you there? Who? That a real beard? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I am here. Thank you for recognizing my massively magnificent beard.
It is beautiful. Oh my God. Well groomed. Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay.
How about who else is there? Let me have a look here. I have to say hi, hello to everybody since you guys have been around for years. Flat Arthur here. Flat Arthur, hello.
Hello.
Who else? Who are we missing? Who's Alpha? Alpha M. Who's that?
Alpha Murphy.
Glober.
Hello. Oh, Glober. Okay, Michael. Michael who? Hello, Michael. Hello, Mikey. Hello, who else is there? Rectum Fire? Rectum?
I don't think it's rectum. I've got to be honest. It's not rectum fire.
But the Rectum Fire. Oh, yeah.
Rectum Fire. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I just looked at it and I just made a
You
funny
get a rectum
rectum.
fire from a crotch rock?
Oh, you're Harp, aren't you? Pleased to meet you, Harp. I don't think we've ever really spoke. Pleased to meet you.
Name.
And the Viking, I don't know who he is, and Tom Zigzag or Zig whatever. Anyway, who's Gakushi? Gakushi.
He was the guy that was talking earlier.
Okay. And Neil, are you there still? No, Neil's gone, eh?
Hey, Neil's out making bets on basketball.
Yeah.
Just sorting out the spread.
If you would, yeah, you could have made a killing if you picked the Knicks at the beginning of the year. You'd be rich. They were probably like 3,500 to 1 odds or something to win the NBA. Or like, well, they were like 35 or 40 to 1 to win. So if you put 1,000, you would have won 40. Could have been even higher. The odds.
Is that what they did this year? They took a low ball and brought it into fame? Because all this shit's fixed. You do realize that, right? Please don't be an idiot.
What are you talking about? Pardon me, what?
Fix a ball. All fixable. Football, basketball, all of it. All sports are all fixed.
I know. Yeah, I know a lot of things, but I know what you're talking about. I understand. Rigged. Yeah, you got the referees once in a while, they make the odd call or whatever that's wrong, and yeah, non-call. Oh yeah, I know too well. There's some. It's not always rigged, There's just certain games and certain storylines.
It's always rigged. Every single game is rigged. They know the outcome from the beginning. Every single game.
Well, yeah. I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with you there.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
my
really
boss.
care if you disagree. Because you
No,
don't
I
know what the fuck you're talking about, dude.
Oh, here we go.
Every
Hey,
single game is rigged.
Right,
You
let's just
know
have
the
a-
outcome
let's have
before
some
the
ground
end.
rules. You're allowed to
Before the
disagree,
start.
just as long as there's not audio chaos. As long as we can hear
Yeah,
you
that's good.
disagreeing.
You're allowed your opinion, but okay. Just not from what I know personally, but I'm not going to get into that. Okay.
Yeah, because what do
But
you know
you're
personally?
right.
Yeah, get into it.
No, there's. Yeah, I
It's smart
agree with
not
you.
to because they're all
No, I
rigged every
agree.
game.
Hey, Harp, I do agree. There is a lot of the fixes on. You're right.
All
I agree. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You're right to your opinion. That's awesome. Yep.
yeah. I loved it when the Eagles got the fix and they beat the piss out of Kansas City.
Okay.
They did that.
Atlanta. Yeah. What about Atlanta? Okay, the one where it's 35-0 or something. Yeah, that one looked rigged. Where what's his face? New England came back.
Oh, that was
looked
years
rigged.
ago. The Falcons?
Yeah,
Yeah, they were
that looked
winning
rigged.
35-0, and and they were hurraying and cheering and preemptive celebration there. Yeah,
I know.
and then
Yeah, that
Tom
one
Brady.
looked kind of rigged. Yeah, that was rigged. That one was rigged for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all rigged. When the Eagles beat the piss out of Kansas City in Super Bowl 59, totally rigged. I loved it.
That was unusual.
it.
Yeah, that was
But it was
unusual.
completely rigged.
Yeah, kind of weird. I guess once
It was
the
completely
storyline's
rigged.
finished.
Every single Super Bowl is completely and thoroughly rigged.
I tend to agree with that. The Super Bowl, yes, and the playoffs.
But how do you think they get to the playoffs?
Well, yeah, it's a storyline. Like
because all the games are rigged for that to happen.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the commercials they always have? They're all sitting around a round table. What's the script this year? Like, remember that? Yeah, the commercials. Yeah, exactly. Good point.
Yeah, there's players out there that admit saying that they're handed a script at the beginning of the season. There's a couple guys that said, "Oh yeah, this year's going to be the Eagles and the Patriots. This year's going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs." That's exactly what happened.
Well, yeah, you usually have about 5 or 6 or 8 guys on the team that are in on the thing, like you said, the script, and then the referees. Exactly, I believe that.
Yeah,
totally.
The Super Bowl that the Eagles were in that they lost against Kansas City because there was a non-holding that was called holding.
Yeah,
and then
I remember
the
that.
Eagles went ahead and lost by 3 points. That was a complete rig. The way the Eagles came out and beat the living piss out of the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl 59, it looked like the Kansas City Chiefs didn't even know how to play football, basically. Now, they were the best team for the last 2 years. They were looking for a three play here.
Three-peat, yeah.
Three-peat,
Dynasty.
three-play, yeah,
They're going
the
to be a
hat trick,
dynasty,
whatever you want to call it, yeah. Never going to happen. There will be no three-peat in NFL.
Yeah.
There will be no team that will win 3 in a row, ever. Never. Never happen.
There was a team that lost 4 in a row. Buffalo Bills
against
they lost 4 in a row.
Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys beat them. Yeah, I think Cowboys beat them twice, and or who beat them 4 times?
I forget.
Giants. The Giants beat
but
them.
I know the Cowboys did because I bet on the Cowboys.
Yeah, and they like beat them like by lots, I think.
Yeah, that was 1992, 91, and 92.
Yeah. Okay, then the Giants beat them with a field goal or something, last play of the game or something. Giants beat them. Yeah, they're the best team to never win the Super Bowl. They're like the Minnesota Vikings, Fran Tarkenton days. They're a really good team too. Remember Minnesota? They never made it to. They never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they weren't doing too bad last year either. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
several of those teams were doing really well, and all of a sudden they threw the game.
Yeah, the
That was
fix
it.
was in. Yeah, like Lawrence.
Right.
Like he's in on it. Lawrence, quarterback, for sure he's in on it.
But you're talking about
Jacksonville.
Jaguars.
Yeah, the Jaguars. Yeah, I think Lawrence was in on it.
He got a haircut now. Hey.
Oh, really? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh my God, is right. You should check him out.
He's been tired of getting cat calls walking by the construction site.
Yes.
He does look effeminate, sort of.
Yeah, he's a pretty tall dude. I don't know if I'd want to fuck with him.
No, he's 6'5". Yeah, he's 6'5".
He looks like a dude that I used to hang out with. He was a drummer. Looks almost identical to this dude I used to know back in the day.
Well, he could fit in a rock band, no problem. The way he
definitely.
looks.
Well, not now though. He just cut his hair.
Oh yeah.
He's a good clean boy now.
A Marine.
He could be.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, but somehow, like you said, when the fix is in, all of a sudden they look terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Is that the same team?
Same team, Jaguar is. Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of the teams, and then look at like Miami. Was that a rigged? Like for them to be
He
so
did the
terrible?
same thing. Yeah, he did the same
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah, and then Detroit. There's another one.
Yeah, the Lions did the same thing. Yeah, the Bears did the same thing. That whole all of them guys, Packers, Vikings, Bears.
Yeah. Well,
Who's
what about
going?
the year Pittsburgh beat Dallas? Rodgers threw that helmet. Well, no, that was the one with the weird catch. They called no catch for the Dallas receiver. Remember? Rodgers?
Yeah, I do. Like when he fell down in the end zone. That one.
Yeah, and then there's the team. Dallas had the best record in the whole league, and then Pittsburgh went there and beat them. Remember? In the playoffs?
Because of that non-catch. I think I remember exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
That's all it takes is one play.
Yeah. Well, what about
one play and you're fucked.
Yeah, there's the New Orleans game, playoff game, where the non-call interference. Remember that one against I forget who, but it was in New Orleans, and the guy was all over the receiver, and they didn't call it. Do you remember that? It was New Orleans. It was a wild card game, I think. New Orleans, and it changed the whole game.
So much, I don't really remember. Over the play, like no call all over him, like pass interference is so common.
Yeah.
Right now, I got to leave because I got to go get blood work.
Yeah, it's good. Nice talking to you, Harp.
All right, man.
Take care, man. Have a good one.
Talk to you guys later. Later on, Steve. Later on.
Sorry, I lost you guys. I just said, the World Cup just started a day or two ago here in Canada. Any footballers out there?
Neil's enjoying football at the moment, but personally, I'm not really asked about football.
Yeah, I don't follow it too closely. All I know is I keep seeing this advertisement with Ryan Reynolds, back to back to back to back. We're going to join the Premier League. Have you ever seen that commercial? I think he's a part owner of a football team. And they have a commercial because they won the championship 3 times in a row or something. And now they're the Premier League. You've ever heard of that or no? Lex or Mex or whatever they're called. Back to back to back.
I think there's like a TV show or a documentary around him doing it. And isn't he running the team with another actor or something?
Yeah. I've never watched it. Have you watched it?
No, I've never seen it, but I've seen advertised before.
Oh yeah. Did you ever see that show Ted Lasso? A couple years back? A U.S. college coach gets exiled to England to coach a football team. You ever seen that one? It's a comedy.
No, never heard of it.
It's called Ted Lasso. I think it's on like HBO or Netflix or something like that. You can catch all the reruns there. Ted Lasso, Lasso. Ted Lasso. Anyway,
did he go over
comedy.
did
Oh, you're breaking up, lad.
Oh, that was probably me. I was just wondering, in the football that you're talking about, is it a U.S. soccer or is it like European football?
Soccer. I was just saying it for the UK people out there, the Europeans, because they say football, but it is soccer. We call it soccer in North America. Hello, John. By the way, cheers. Good to hear from you.
How you doing, man?
I'm okay. Just sitting here listening and chiming in finally. It's been a while, and I missed so many shows. I don't even know what's going on. So I'm trying to get caught up. There's just so many hours. Hard to watch so many shows. There's like, most shows are like 3-4 hours. Oh, here comes a friend of mine's pulling up here. I'm going to have to let you guys go. Hey, it's been a slice, you guys, and I'll join you guys another time, okay?
See you later.
I get to ask you the question about whether they accounted for Coriolis effect when they were kicking the football, but I'll ask you next time.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah, what's his face? Degrassi was mentioning the soccer ball. When you kick it and bend it like Beckham, it's not really bending because the earth is spinning. Okay, I'll let you guys go. Bye.
See you later.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
It's apparent that soccer balls are experiencing Coriolis.
You'll need a flat plane for that. Non-inertial claim of a turning reference frame.
Yeah, and I swear I don't know how that soccer ball is going to be able to describe this to me. Does anybody know how to speak soccer ball by any chance?
Hey, I'm going to round out on that note. So with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and all that good stuff. If you do have the means to support me via the Ko-fi or PayPal link below this video, then please do so. And if not, please share one of the shorts videos that were put up on the live stream or in the after show. Once again, another massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If Earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken, we just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat Earth king of rhyme.